all of this is going to happen exactly how it's meant to be.
Your dad's really cool. Your
Yeah.
dad is extremely excited. I
Yeah.
can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, he is.
He loves you a lot,
Yeah.
and he's really proud of you.
Yeah.
And you're doing something that he couldn't, and you can tell.
100%.
You can tell.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. I'm your host, Willie Rodriguez. Today we have a guest on that we're going to be talking about things that are just very powerful. Just get ready for an impactful podcast. That's all I got to say. The main things we're going to be talking about is substance abuse in the industry. Talking about how important it is to have a partner, a spouse that really backs you up during all this time. You know, all the building and everything that goes on. And there's a lot more things. Also, faith is probably one of the biggest ones as well. Loneliness, a lot of things that Mr. Shane here is going to be talking about. Before we get in, I just want to say a prayer.
Sure.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, wow, Lord, the things that you have us do, Lord, and the amount of just faith and time that we put in to trusting you, trusting the process, giving it up to you for moments like this, where now we can give back in an impactful way for those on the other side and also take something ourselves. I pray for everyone listening, Lord, whatever they're going through, Lord. I pray that you speak through us during this podcast episode, Lord. And we thank you, Lord, for the growth that we have been able to just endure to be able to be here today. Very blessed and humbled and grateful to be sitting aside the table next here, Mr. Shane, my bad. Mr. Shane. And we just feel blessed, Lord. So I pray for everyone listening and that we have an amazing time. And let's go. Yeah.
Amen.
Before we continue, I just want to give a shout out to Ace Ornamental that has allowed me to learn all of the things that we're going to be talking about today in many different ways. And also know that Ace Ornamental's here for you guys on the other side. I have to do it. I didn't want to do this before, but I got to do it. All the companies we have, Plant Logistics, the Nursery Growers, all right, the Plant Movement. We're here for you guys in big ways. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Our guest today is Shane. What's your last name?
Leader, Leder.
Shane Leader with Real Landscaping. And he's been in the industry for a long time.
It's a Real Landscape Incorporated.
Real Landscape Incorporated.
And I have a company called Real Landscape Nursery. So I started my business back in 2004. And I started out just like anybody else. Well, not just like anybody else. It was just me, you know, and me and a guy, and then me again, and then me and another guy, and then me again, and then me and a couple guys, and back and forth. But eventually, it worked. And that was in 2004. And there's to jump ahead, 2017, I was blessed to be able to purchase a small horse farm. That's tied into a lot of what we're going to talk about today. And I converted it into a tree farm and a nursery. And it was a separate company, and I made sure it was a separate company. And so now we're currently vertically integrated. So I'm the designer and builder and the maintainer, and now I'm the grower and supplier.
For the landscape company.
For my landscape company, yeah. And now, ironically, I sell to my competition. It's pretty cool to have grown up to a certain extent in the industry around here and see these large companies that you're just so impressed with, and then you're provided an opportunity to watch them drive into your home and purchase the stuff that you've grown in your backyard. Now your backyard's 5.5 acres now, but a lot of this stuff I started by hand.
Where are you at?
Boynton Beach in the Turnpike, 8345 96 Court South. And I just opened it's been by appointment only for a while because I had to grow stuff. I mean, it was just flat land.
Oh, and you're not there, too. You're running a landscape company.
Correct. And it was very difficult first 3 or 4 years. I mean, my wife lives there and I have dogs, but been able to build an excellent inventory and grow an excellent inventory, and then get gates and everything set up and signs and everything. It's quite an ordeal. I did a lot of this stuff, believe it or not. I did it at night. I would do it with a headlamp. I worked during the days. I mean, it was just me. Like I mentioned earlier, I had a hard time finding managers. And so I had to do it on my own. And really funny, quick sidestep. I'm not a control freak. Someone asked me, about that, and that's people love to say, well, you're a control freak. Well, it was funny is that I was prepared for that, and I said, I'm not a control freak. I'm a quality freak.
I like that.
And that's actually the truth, and that's my line, because I never want to control it to control it. I just want it to be right. That's it. It was never about control. It's about being right. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, that's why I did a lot of that stuff myself. I asked for help. I asked every nursery that I'd bought from, and I never got any help. No one taught me anything. So I read it in a book, and I learned it on my own. So now, which is great, because now I truly believe that it's my nursery.
Mm-hmm. Definitely is.
It's my nursery. But that's what we're doing right now. It's an excellent. I'm growing some really excellent plant material. Today, I'll give a shout out to R.S. Walsh Landscape over on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. They locked down an 8-headed foxtail palm that I made myself. Currently, it's 22 feet tall. It's 20 feet wide.
Wow.
And it's called Big Brother. And they are going to actually come and load it themselves.
Wow.
And so I'm excited about that. So that's little stuff that not little stuff, but big stuff that I've done. And I've made curved foxtail palms. Mm-hmm. I've done 6-headed Christmas palms. I've done a lot of cool, unique things that worked.
Is that more? Yeah. Is that more what you have there, or you have more of the cookie cutter stuff too?
I don't like cookie cutter stuff. I can buy a lot of cookie cutter stuff. I can buy it from you. Mm-hmm. On bigger jobs or to supply people. I don't really need to make a lot of money on it. I need to move it and supply to my clients, make sure they have what they need.
You like the artsy stuff,
yeah.
The stuff you can't find.
Yeah, the stuff that you can't find. And it's not just that. It's like podocarpus. I grow 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know why? Because people are buying them at 6.5 feet tall.
They never get to 9.
So fortunately, because I own a landscape design build company, I've been blessed to have that revenue coming in so that, my bills are paid and stuff like that. And I could afford to let this material grow and mature. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I did. I kept the nursery closed, and I just grew the stuff.
And you're selling that now, or you're holding it for your stuff?
No, we sell now. Okay. And I learned a lot. I didn't believe Pat Ford, which is my neighbor. He's like, well, everything's... He sold, yeah. He did sell his company.
That's a liner company for you guys that don't know. He's been in the industry probably 40 years.
40 years. Excellent man, excellent company. Out of Wellington. Out of Loxahatchee, and then also out of Boynton. But he was having Thanksgiving dinner with me one day, and he said, Shane, listen, everything's for sale. And I said, yeah, but you don't understand, kind of who I am. And, I'm unique, And I just remember him looking at me like, no, you're not. You're a nursery man now. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really get what he meant. Well, now I do. Mm-hmm. Everything is for sale that's in the ground at my house. Okay, so
it just took some time to realize.
It's true, yeah. You gotta sell it.
You gotta sell it, yeah. And when you sell it, when it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And when I didn't sell anything is when it looked beautiful, because I would want to see, like, look how beautiful that is. Right. I think I'm going to raise the price. That's when you drop the price and sell it. Mm-hmm. And it's so wonderful to learn these lessons from men when they're not around to tell you I told you so. It's a cool feeling to get when you're by yourself and you get it. Yeah. And you're like, oh, he was right. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And it's awesome to know that it's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's why I know I'm older now and I'm more mature, is that I enjoy looking for the lessons now. Yeah. I do.
No, the lessons are everything. It's growth, it's maturity, wisdom.
So that's what I do. I'm a design build company and maintenance company, and now we have a tree farm and nursery, and that's my new passion. Now I'm able to hire managers and believe in those managers and be able to learn how to train them and learn how to delegate and keep my quality. That was my biggest fear, was losing the quality, because that's what people believed in when they saw me, and they knew they'd get that out of me, and I didn't want to lose that at all. And I didn't want to fall into that that trap of where people told me, Shane, you're so good, you're going to get real big, and then quality's going to slip. Mm-hmm. And I remember looking at him like, yeah, you don't really know who I am. Mm-hmm. And I made sure that didn't happen. I would call my clients, and I would let go of workers, and I would say no. And And that's how I prevented my company from growing to the point where I lost the quality. So I made sure that I didn't lose quality.
That's good.
So
No, and you mentioned something right there at the beginning that you didn't have anybody to answer your questions. And that's like a lot of things that a lot of people that are trying to grow in this industry have a problem with. You want to look for answers to questions that you can't ask to nobody because nobody wants to answer them for you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, part of that is like, I think part of the reason we started the plant movement is to give a voice to the industry so people could actually hear, you know, the people that are in the industry. And another thing that we started was too
the nursery growers.
The nursery growers. You know, it's like giving people an opportunity to have somebody to ask a question to that has to do with your plants, that has to do with, you know, growing things right. You see a problem with your plant, you know, hey, who could ask? That's what we're trying to emphasize with the nursery growers.
It's that way, I think, in both industries. So the one thing that I have that I have the ability to do now is to have the perspective from a landscape design, build, and maintenance company, and then also from the nursery aspect of it too. And it's the same. I think it's the same reason for both industries. It's the same. It's fear of losing money. That's what it is, guys. I on both sides. We'll touch on it, on you know, why that is. It's the reason why we don't talk about things. It's because, you know, it's because people are, in my opinion, people are afraid to lose money. I'm gonna refer right back to a lesson I learned from a neighbor, Pat Ford. There was a gentleman that worked for him that was right across the street from my house, and as I'm coming out one day, pulling out, he's trimming some robolini palms, cleaning them up, getting ready to pull the seeds off of them. And I stopped by and I'm like, hey, man, how you doing? Caught up with him, talked with him for a little bit, and then moved on. And Pat, he busted my balls. You know, he's like, hey, man, why are you, interrupting my worker? That was like, 5 or 7 minutes of work that he was not doing. You're talking to him and I'm paying him. And, it's a loss of productivity. And I don't want you talking to my employees anyway. Now, this is a guy that's been sitting at my table eating Thanksgiving earlier. Okay, and I talk to him on a regular basis. We're friends on Facebook and all these things, and he's busting my balls, I did not like that, okay? So my ego immediately came up, and I'm like, my ears get hot, and I've learned, don't say anything bad to your neighbor. You got to go pray on that one first.
You got to pray about that.
You got to pray about that, he's your neighbor. Later, I figured it out, what he was saying, is that he's old school, okay? He's old school, and that's what I'm getting at. These guys are old school, and we've learned from old school individuals. Excuse me, I have learned from these old school individuals, just like I did my father. These older guys, these bust balls, and these, but there's a principle behind it, which was number one, productivity. Stop my worker. You just stop my worker, and then number two, I don't want you talking to my worker because he's really good. And I don't trust you.
Right.
Because I need him, and I've trained him, and I put time, energy, and effort into him. And I know I'm not paying him enough. And I don't want you talking to him for long enough to be able to have a conversation about how much is he getting paid. Okay? These are things that I play out in my mind because I try to put myself in other people's shoes. Well, guys, that's the truth. That's what he's thinking.
Of course.
And
competition
that's it.
It's everywhere. It's like it's competition. Everybody's competing with one another to sell something, but at the end of the day,
more today maybe than back then. Yeah. Today employees are on the low end, so I can see that even being a bigger issue.
Oh yeah.
Today.
And the same that's with the nursery thing, and then also I think it's talking about the industry, the landscape installation industry or the maintenance industry, is that, well, I don't want to give you any sort of edge at all. Yep. Well, why is that? It's because maybe one day you're going to take one of my clients because of what I taught you.
That's a big thing. That's why there's contracts. There's people in sales in the nursery business that they have to sign, a non-compete?
Non-compete, yeah.
Okay, and that happens in all industries.
Absolutely.
Especially in sales. So if you're in sales and they give you a non-compete, that means that form is stating that you can't go do what you do anywhere else for X amount of time if you leave because of the competition aspect. And some people sign them, some people don't. If you're that good, you shouldn't have to sign anything. But at the end of the day, it all depends on what situation you're in. But that comes back to the same thing. I want you for me, and I don't trust you or anyone else. And it comes back to that. You're hitting it on the nose.
It's fear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the main reason. What I've
It is fear.
What I know, it's fear.
It's fear.
It's fear. It's that please don't take what I have. And if you even come near it, I'm going to get aggressive, and I will. It's okay if you don't think I'm a nice guy. It's okay if you think that I'm not generous. Yeah. And one of the things is, and we can touch on it now. We touch on it later.
Touch on it right now.
It's like this. Because people are afraid, and referred to the industry, in life, people are afraid they don't do things because of fear. Fear of loss, fear they're going to lose money, fear they're going to not have enough. The irony is this: the majority of people that I have helped in my life have came back and made sure that I had more than I ever had before. That's always been true in anything I've ever helped anybody with. And I think that if, even though like some of these nursery guys that I'd been shopping from and built my business with, even though that I'd get the cold shoulder from them, I still always said I was grateful and thank you for everything I learned from them. Because the fact is that I did learn from them based on what they did. They wouldn't say anything, but based on what I saw they did.
Whether it be good or bad.
Yeah, good or bad, I learned. I just think this. I think that there is a legitimate reason to have the fear. Okay? I don't want to discount that. I mean, people are people. And the enemy is real, man. Mm-hmm. People do all sorts of things for money. Mm-hmm. And they will lie, cheat, and steal. And I think this. I think that has happened not nearly as much as people think it did or fear it would. It's just there, and it's obvious. It's the negative. People really haven't helped a lot of people in the industry. Yeah. So they haven't seen the result of what it's like to actually help somebody, answer their questions, provide them an opportunity to grow, and to actually risk yourself and see what it's like to have faith in something bigger than yourself and 100%. The work. So that's where that's one of the reasons why I'm here.
No, I love the fact that you were able to break it down. We saw that here with doing this podcast. And then also, like, very relatable, I used to have a guy that worked here at this field that a customer would come and talk to him. And then he started taking him on lunch breaks. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go tell him you can't talk to that guy, right? Like my employee telling him you can't see. This guy's job was to help him pick the plants he wanted. So if the guy's out there for 20 minutes and they're picking out plants, hey, you can't talk to him, just pick out the plants and leave. I'm a guy that walks by faith, right? Yes. I don't have time to deal with that. Like, I don't have time to look at that. I have other things I should be focused on, larger priorities. This guy ended up leaving and going and working with him, right? On the contrary, I could have got upset. Why is this happening? Why is this? This guy's a jerk. He stole my guy. Right. I'm like, oh, it is what it is. That just means that he's meant to go over there and God will bring somebody else to fill his shoes. So the person that got to get that position is a blessing. So at the end of the day, God actually removed something that wasn't that great, and he replaced it with something else, and I watched it happen. I didn't intervene. So
that's awesome you say that. It's because a lot of the times, what I'm learning now, more so now in my life than in the past, because I'm very active and aggressive. I really just started practicing letting God actually do the work. Mm-hmm. What do I mean? In that situation, God did for you what you could not do for yourself.
And that's a minuscule.
Yes.
That's a minuscule just explanation.
But it's an example of, there's a guy right there that was doing his job, right? He's doing a great job. Why would you let him go? Why would you?
Well, I don't have control over that.
But I mean, my question is, why would you? You wouldn't even let this guy go? You wouldn't fire him because he's doing the job. Well, he left on his own, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
Somebody stepped in that brought you to the next level.
No, and then we have also choices to make, right? So he had a choice. What he did, he knew wasn't correct, but that he's got to live with whatever happens after that choice.
Yeah, and why did he do it? Like,
what's
the motivation for it? Yeah. Usually, it's money.
It's more usually.
And that's why it goes back to fear. Why we won't talk? Why will you not help me? Why is there not? You and I talked a while back. Why is there not a board set up to help us? Mm-hmm. Like, why is there not? Why don't we have more help? Yeah. Why are we not open with each other? Why is that? And it's honestly, I think it's through fear of losing clients.
We see that big time here. Like, this is an industry business-based podcast that was set up. I'm a nursery. My knowledge comes from the day-to-day beatings of owning and operating a nursery. Okay?
Yes.
Where are the other nurseries? We've had 2 nurseries sit next to us. We've had a few landscapers that have a little nursery, right? Mm-hmm. You have something bigger, so you would qualify as a guy in the middle. Mm-hmm. But nurseries, we've had 2.
Yeah.
Okay? And we've done almost 100 podcasts, right? So this was built for nurseries. Mm-hmm. So we could talk about the industry and create things like what you just said, right? Like associations or something we can talk, right? Mm-hmm. Where the nurseries at?
I think that's what we're trying to do, though, is break that barrier.
A lot of people. It was break that barrier. Yeah. Well, but it's also, what is it? Intimidation? Yeah. Is it the fear? Is it the money?
It's fear. So the thing is I'm just transitioning into nursery, and this is the first time I've ever really had a conversation about this. I can think about it, and I just know that the only, my suggestion would be, first and foremost, we're going to have to pray for everybody. Mm-hmm. And then you have to open the door and create the invitation and label the fear. And that's one of the things that I've always done with my employees, my family, with myself. I write down the fear. I write it down and look at it.
Mm-hmm. To
attack it. I need to know where it's at. Just like my goals, anything that I've ever wanted accomplished, I write it down and I stare at it. And
things that intimidate you.
Yeah, and I will intimidate it. Because it's sitting right there. I'm the one moving around. It ain't moving around. I'm looking right at it. I'm thinking about it every single day of how I'm going to accomplish this. Right. And then about a week later, for some reason, I looked down at that writing. It got smaller. And I got bigger. Mm-hmm. And I think that, something that if you want to open up the doors, just, we need to talk about the things and literally label the things that would separate us. One of the biggest things that I've ever done when I want to work with somebody and help them, I write down the things that separate us. And those are the things I attack first. Because that's the enemy wanting to keep me separate from what God wants me to do. So I make sure I label the enemy. And that's what you could do here. We got to figure out why you don't want to talk. Who's brave enough out there to be like, well, this is why I don't want to talk. Well, I already know why. Fear.
Yeah. But what is the fear?
What's the fear? Fear of losing money. Okay, well, for the love of money, right? We all know it. It's the root of all kinds. It's not money itself. It's the root of all kinds of evil. People do all sorts of things for money, and it's not the actual money. It's power and control, and it's the things that you want to do. It's the things that you don't want to do, and it's those fears that are spinning around that all the time. No one ever really talks about the fears, labels it, and then attacks it because that's the separator from accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm new in the nursing industry, and certainly Homestead is its own culture. Mm-hmm. It goes back, 100 years ago. And So that's something that I can't speak on, but the basics are always fear. That's what keeps us separate.
But you see the difference between somebody that's just coming into it and somebody that's been in it. You're coming in fresh. You want to speak on certain things that a lot of people have fear about speaking of. Mm-hmm. And I think that goes to show, like right now, Willie's a lot more serious and he's listening and he's grasping and taking in everything that you have to say. But he is so excited of all the things that you wrote down when, you were, coming on. Your view of, coming on is the opportunity to speak on certain things that a lot of people don't speak of. And this is great because your topics that you have on there is something that Willie just looks to talk about so much. He wants to talk about these things with so many people. He wants people to come on to speak about these things. And his excitement when he saw all your topics that you wrote about, well, it's an amazing thing, because nobody wants to talk about these things. So it's just wonderful. I mean, I can't wait till we really start touching on all the things that you want to talk about.
Look, fear, no, but fear's true. Like today, we have in A's as a business and the businesses that run and operate through A's, because that's what we did. We took one company and we spread it into different companies.
Okay.
Right. Like the industry as well. We have pricing increases that no one wants to do.
Right.
Which everyone is hurting for profit because they don't want to upset their client.
Well, that's why we get together and collaborate on three.
Well,
1, 2, 3, go.
So that's one. Then you have labor shortages where it's hard to find labor, so it discourages a lot of people. Change. Told you there's a lot of change happening, right? Mm-hmm. So us ourselves, we're getting rid of 3 locations, right? One got sold, one's about to get sold, and one we're giving back.
Okay, yeah.
Is it a bad thing? Could be. Depends how you look at it. I look at it as freeing up time,
right?
Resources, all right? I look at God just working through us, right? To learn through all this.
And cleaning up,
right? We're doing inventory management, trying to get tighter, learning how to work more with less when it comes to employees, when it comes to everything, resources, everything. Learning how to stand out a little bit more. What can we do to really service our client that much more? Going checklists.
Yeah, I am.
That's a smack in the face.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying it's something that the industry, like the people that have passed away, will be rolling over in their grave.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know how people can steal though back then.
Well,
now they can.
But you can still steal digitally as well. But there's a lot of things that we're up against that we're plowing through. We're not allowing it to hurt us anymore. We're not allowing it to. We're not allowing the fear to overcome and overpower us and stop taking action towards it. We're going to continue to move forward and attack it and obliterate it.
Absolutely.
Just a few things that those are like those intimidating things. We're like, man, how are we going to do this? Like this podcast was very intimidating. You talked about what you can lose. This is when you talk about my pops and the conversation you had before before we sat down. There was a lot to lose. You have reputations. You have money. You have sales, cash flow. You have clients that can listen and get upset for something that you said. Because when this was created, it was to speak on topics that no one could talk about or wanted to talk about. But I was at the point that I didn't care anymore. And that's where I'm at, too.
We're still evolving.
Yeah, we're still evolving. I'm still at the point where right now, 2026 is the bomb year of we're blowing it all up. And we're restructuring it all. Right?
For the better.
For the better. And whatever happens, it doesn't matter. Because it's meant to happen this way. We got to just continue to have faith and move forward. And every day we have monumental things that happen. Like even this right here.
Yeah. Today's a big day.
Today's a big day, right? There's a million things that both of us can be doing that we can, 10 years ago.
There's a million things that I have to be doing.
Yes,
right now.
100%. But we can not do this and give an excuse.
Yeah.
Right? But we see the priority in it today. 10 years ago, yeah, right, bro. You think I got time to sit there and talk to who?
Being a one-man show.
Being a one-man show. True.
Yeah, and I was, I think one of the reasons why we have, clicked, there's several reasons why. But I think the most important reason why is because you just said that he's been a one-man show in the past?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have been I have been a one-man show until Zach showed up 2 months ago,
Wow.
honestly.
Wow.
And I mean that.
Yeah. So this is very, just imagine what you've had to overcome
Yeah.
to sit here today.
Exactly.
Just in that, just handing the keys to, all right, man, go take care of it, because you're giving them all your trust. You're giving them your faith. Your faith is at the forefront. That's what I'm here. I'm here because of faith, man. Everything's happening out there,
But I tell
and
you
we're
this.
sitting here doing what we feel we need to be doing.
But hear me out, though. One of the reasons why, and it's important, there's a journey in your faith of in my faith. Why am I at right now? Why was it just 2 months ago? The faith grew larger than the fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Faith over fear.
Yeah, I mean,
We have it on our shirt.
Yeah. Walk by faith, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. So then, what are you doing to grow your faith?
You
What are
face
you
your
doing?
demons.
What are you doing? Are you landscaping all day? You know, have you been going to church? Do you read in the mornings?
Mm-hmm.
Do you pray? Do you pray with your wife? You pray with your dog? Like, what are you doing
Mm-hmm.
to grow your faith? Are you just working all day and thinking about your fears?
That's a question for you guys.
Like, and that's what I did. Even though I was going to church and I was doing all those, you know, doing those things that supposedly grew my faith, but they weren't. And you know, it wasn't my fault. I just didn't know yet. There's nobody telling me. That's why I'm here today, to tell me. That's, you know, my name could be Mike, but no one told me this stuff. One of the big reasons why I think that God put me in this position and why I'm motivated to do this is because there wasn't a lot of people to help me along the way. And it was just obvious that how he created me and that I'm really not scared of anything. You know, I'm scared of me about, you know, that's what I'm scared of, is like the next dumb thing I do or the ideas that I have or the goals that I have. Like, oh my God, when am I going to come up with that? But the reason why I'm here doing this is because it's very lonely and you feel stupid and you don't know who to ask and you don't know what to say. And, you know, you're the owner. You know, you're the foreman, you're the owner, you're the person that everybody's coming up to, and you have to know what's going on. Well, half the time we don't. And we don't know which direction. We kind of have an idea of direction, and there's no one to talk to, no one to give us direction. And going back to fear over faith is the reason why, I'll be honest with you, the reason why I have more faith than fear now is because I'm successful. I was afraid I wasn't going to be successful. And so I was working so hard and saving money and not talking to anybody, not telling anybody my secrets. What I'm realizing as I get older is that it's what the old guys told me. Money is not success. Your success is when your fear goes away and you're satisfied with what God has provided you to have.
Mm-hmm. Satisfied.
You're satisfied.
That's a beautiful word.
And when you're there, you show up here. And then I'm stepping through my fear, you know, and there's certain things that you gotta, you know, people gotta know, you know, and I've always been, since I was a child, I'm the one that would say it. Mm-hmm. It's because, like, what are you gonna do to me? Mm-hmm. Beat me up? Yeah. Like, tell me I'm dumb? No, you're thinking the exact same thing as me. You're just afraid to say it. Mm-hmm. You know?
That was very true. And satisfied, too, is the word that a lot of us in the industry, I guess, I don't know, some of us never figure that out, how to become satisfied. And it's very truthful. And a lot of us chase money, or we chase, you know, when I hit this number, this is going to happen. Or when I'm here, when I get that job. You know, everything is, I can't wait for that day. How about you can't wait for right now? Right? Because it's right now is
yeah.
what we should be, you know, excited for. What's going to happen right now? You know, every single day, think about how many things happen that we didn't even know that was going to happen. and it happened, and it was amazing. Like, what are we waiting for? We're not waiting for nothing. I'm waiting just to live at this point because I'm in a satisfied, place.
Yeah, the 24 hours a day concept is very important. And today, living today and seize the day, like they're in front of us all the time. We grew up reading it. It's in songs. It's in the Bible. We ignore it. We're thinking about tomorrow. And truly, the satisfaction is in today. And that's the one thing I realized. Yes, I got a plan for tomorrow, and I got to work hard. But appreciating today makes me better tomorrow.
Yeah.
And once I got good at really sucking today up and making the most of today and actually seizing the day, that's when my tomorrows got easier. That's when I started succeeding. And that's when I didn't have as much fear. Fear is there, and the fear kind of turned to anxiety rather than true fear. And I remember recognizing that. It's just like the anxiety of running a business. Like, wait, is it going to be there on time? Like, it wasn't fear anymore. Like, am I going to succeed? Am I going to make payroll? Are going to people call me? Yeah, like that went away, but the anxiety was still there. Nobody told me that it shifted from fear to anxiety. No one was there to tell me that. So I still acted like I was in fear, but I didn't tell anybody. No, I just had regular anxiety. There was no one to talk to about that. Church, we try to get business groups together, and you know what? I'm sitting there looking at my dang phone. I gotta go.
Yeah, it's
I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's I'm there at 8, 7:30 in the morning. We're eating breakfast. Everybody's talking about how great they are. In a Christian's men group. Like, I don't care about how great you are. I'm here to deal with
My problems.
my problems, man.
Face my fear.
Yeah, I'm here to do it with you. And guess what? They weren't doing it, and that pissed me off. That I was there.
Show out. Everybody has to show what they got.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm like,
yeah.
bro, I'm in my uniforms, dirty from yesterday. Like, I'm looking at you like, and I stopped going. And this is my church, and I love all these guys. No, sorry, dude, you're not me. I know who I am, and you're not me.
That's how I felt when I went to my first class for business administration at Miami-Dade College.
You're like, yeah.
I said, no, sir, listen, hey, thank you, man. God bless you, but I'm out of here. I went downstairs, got my $738 back, and I left. Never went back. Yeah, because it's just not, that. The grit's not there.
The grit's not there.
Yeah.
And
And then, one of the things you have written down here to not make this podcast a 3-hour podcast. This is what I'm going to do, guys. So he sent over a message that he had been writing on, just adding to it. Walks at the beach and doing different things in his time.
Can I tell you how this came up real quick?
Yeah, tell us.
So this is something really cool that I'm doing right now is through planning and hard work, I'm able to go away. I'm able to really do some cool things. And I went to Fort Myers and I went to a Ella Langley concert and got pit tickets. And I love Ella Langley. I don't know if you know who Ella Langley is, but I am an Ella fella. Let me tell you, look her up. And she can sing, and she is like an old school country voice. She's so beautiful. My wife agrees. She's the one that bought the tickets, and we all danced together right in front of Ella Langley. Right at the pit. It's fantastic. I wore a cowboy hat. I normally don't wear a cowboy hat. I'm 6'3". Then in my cowboy boots with the cowboy hat, I'm 6'10", 6'11", and to be with my beautiful wife and dancing with her at a Ella Langley concert. We do several concerts. That's really cool. Something we did. But I had been thinking and praying on this, and since you and I had met, and then on the beach at Lover's Key, I started putting this together. And just what was amazing is that it came together probably about 30 minutes it took, because this stuff has been on my mind. This is stuff that's easy. This is stuff that's on a recurring loop. It doesn't go anywhere. It's right there. It's so easily accessible. And that's why it's all there, and it's so easy. And that's why, Eddie, you think it. That's why you think it. Nobody's ever wrote it down.
Yeah. or speaks about it.
You ready?
You have nobody to talk to.
Guys, hold on tight. Listen to this. So I'm going to read exactly what he has, and then we're going to go through it. My core message is going to be bullet points. First one, my core message. We built businesses, but many of us are secretly exhausted, isolated, addicted, hurting physically, disconnected spiritually, and starving for real brotherhood. I believe Jesus Christ and genuine community can help heal that. We can make that real. Then he put how I started, growing up on a dairy farm, physical labor at a young age in New Jersey, halfway house on Saturdays, learning plants and work the hard way, building without investors. That's working while hurt, handling payroll stress, trying to survive seasons in landscape, learning through mistakes, insane hours. People see the trucks, the nursery, the house, the money later. They don't see the years that we're terrified, wondering how payroll is going to get made. They don't see insane hours. They don't see all the surgeries that were necessary, because he's been through a lot of surgeries. The loneliness of the industry. This industry is strange. Everybody's friendly, but everybody's guarded. People are afraid to share knowledge because they think they're giving away advantages. Number 2, the reasons. Contractors don't trust contractors. Suppliers hear gossip. Everybody fears losing clients. Owners carry pressure silently. Most men don't have mentors. Nobody is teaching leadership systems, delegation, burnout without prevention, marriage balance, addiction recovery, emotional regulation, physical health, succession planning. This part, they said they really resonate with. Addiction and escape culture. So the industry has a lot of pain in it. Physical pain, emotional pain, financial pain. And at the end of the day, a lot of guys self-medicate. Alcohol culture. He's a recovering alcoholic. We're going to get to that. Work hard, play hard. Numbing stress, numbing loneliness. Functioning addiction, meaning that you're doing what you're addicted to, but you're trying to function throughout it. Hiding pain behind success. Waking up exhausted, pretending everything is fine. Solution, sobriety. Gave me my life back. Introducing me to God, I found who Jesus Christ was. Number 4, the physical toll. Talk about surgeries, knees, back, shoulders, sleep apnea, exhaustion, sun exposure, dehydration, chronic pain. A lot of us look strong on the outside while quietly deteriorating physically. Number 5, marriage and relationships. This is where we can start relating in a big way. Work consumption. The pressure you made, emotionally unavailable sometimes. Success can become hiding men, justifying absence through providing, which is true. Hey, I provide. I don't have to be there. Sorry, I'm at work. I have late hours. Relationships require intentional investment. Listen to that. By the grace of God, my wife stood beside me through all my chaos, growth, pressure, and transformation. I'm still learning how to truly be present, which is a big issue that we all have, because our minds are building something. Jesus Christ, this part matters the most. This is number 6. I realize success alone doesn't heal the heart. I realize it means nothing without knowing where it came from and celebrating who gave it to me, God. Jesus gave you peace, sobriety, grounding, humility, forgiveness, purpose, perspective. The closer I got to success, the more I realized I still needed God, which is something that a lot of us realize. The big vision for the industry is closing message, and we're going to touch on these things. I think our industry needs more brotherhood, less ego, more honesty, more mentorship, more collaboration, more conversations about faith, health, marriage, addiction, and leadership. I'm stepping in. And then he goes about talking points. Shane, I want to start at the top, because this is what he really came here for, guys. And, I feel like these are topics that definitely never get talked about. Especially, think about the walk you have to walk and what you have to endure and what you overcome and how you reach a point where you can walk by faith, knowing that God does. He's at that point. It takes a long time to get to that chapter in the book. Many people never make it. They never see that chapter. They get consumed by all the things that you just wrote in here. So the fact that he was able to be consumed and break free from the consumption, meaning that he saw himself consumed, and then find the power through all the chaos of continuously, being addicted and working while you're addicted, right? being even there and seeing that and continuing through the daily, knowing that, man, I'm medicating myself, but I'm here. But I got to break free from this. Like, I know this isn't right. Like, how am I going to stop this? Where can I go? You know, and a lot of people, they look at faith as, oh, look at this guy, bro. Look at this guy. But they don't know what that man went through to get to that point where now he's so just like loving and kindness and, you know, showing kindness and just to that point. Like, that is a rock and roll soldier is what that is, to be able to get to that point in life. And now we're going to talk about it. So his core message is about building a business with his hands, with his mind, 24 hours, having a partner, maybe losing a partner, maybe getting a partner back, right? And all the things that go in with that. And let's just start there. Your core message or how you started and...
Well, I'll tell you this. So one of the things that I grew up, you know, so how I started was I grew up on a dairy farm in western New York, near Buffalo, New York, south of Buffalo, a place called Kilbuck. And my dad grew up in the dairy farming industry, and we just happened to be in that area. And my mom, my dad was into exotic women.
Okay.
So he's a tall white farmer, and
Married or not married anymore?
not married.
Okay.
At the time, and he had a pen pal in high school, and her name was Bernice Mangelsing, and she was in Trinidad. Well, so when she was 18, she moved here, and she married my dad.
Okay.
So that's why I'm brown, and that's where I got my color from, is my mom. So she's a little island lady, and so I just grew up in that community, working. One of the things that really, I can't go through everything, but one of the things that my dad got me involved in when I was very young was wrestling. So the first time I won the states, I was 4 years old.
Okay.
I was 40 pounds at the 8 and under division.
Okay.
And it was because my brothers were older and they had wrestled and they'd done so well that he's like, well, I'm going to start Shane really young. And that was probably, I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, it proved well, okay? But because of that, just like on a lot of things, it presented a lot of challenges. But I'm going to focus on the positives of what that did, is that I had the opportunity. Mr. Morton, my wrestling coach, and my father were good friends, and they knew that I was special physically. I just had a special ability. I was extremely strong and very quick. So they trained me well, and Mr. Morton taught me how to write down goals. Okay, like how many takedowns I wanted this year, how many escapes I wanted, how many reversals, and how many wins that I wanted. And I remember writing those down, and I remember that not meaning too much to me until the middle of the season, until I saw where I was compared to what I wrote down, and then how long the season was. And then I started figuring out how many matches I had and how many takedowns or pins or whatever I needed to do in the matches that I had. And I just remember doing that in math myself at a very young age. Why is that important? Is because that's how I built my companies. I learned when I was about 5 years old by Mr. Morton, and I didn't realize that.
Write down goals.
Yeah. Why is that important, and why am I saying that? Out of all, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about today, is that the most important lesson I ever learned was to write it down and to stare at it. That prepared me for later when I worked the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I had to write things down. Another tie-in with that was Rocky IV. He had to fight Ivan Drago. Okay, and Ivan Drago had killed his friend. His name, I forgot his name in the movie. Anyway, so he's looking at the picture of Ivan Drago. He cut it out of the newspaper and he put it on his mirror.
This is the guy he's going to go up against.
That's who he's going to go up against. And he would train. He's training and training. Every time he'd look in the mirror, he'd have to look at it. And see, in the beginning, when he was looking at it, he was looking at that mirror, but he was in fear because that guy had killed his friend. Mm-hmm. Okay? By the end of it, he had been training and training and training, and he trained himself into a beast. So the last time he looked in that mirror, when he saw that, he reached over and he crumpled it up. And it's because he had trained enough to where he knew, like I had mentioned to you earlier, when I write stuff down and I look at it, and I look at it, week and a half, 2 weeks later, that writing gets smaller, and I got bigger. So that's how that was the beginning of being able to build businesses. Because the fact is that I never went to school for this, you know. I was able a little bit later in my life. I went to school, and I moved to New Jersey with my mother eventually, and I left the dairy farm when I was about 14 because I was sick of doing work. I was sick. I had no friends, and my dad would just make me work over and over and over. So it was wrestling, football, track, and work. And all my friends didn't want to come and hang out with me because my dad would make them work too. I mean, we laugh about it when I go up and visit them. But they chuckle about it because they're all envious of me now. Because they realize that was the secret, was that hard work, was that discipline, and showing up every day. You don't know that when you're a kid, but man, you know it when you're an adult and you have kids, you know, and you don't have what you want, you know. So anyway, how I ended up landscaping was I went to school and I quit. I just didn't like school. You know, I had done it 12 years in a row and I was done. And these people were I just knew that stuff already for some reason, you know. So I decided to leave, and I had already learned how to drink a long time ago. So I ended up getting I looked in the newspaper, and I got an ad. There was an ad for landscaping, and I ended up working for $8 an hour. Okay. And that's how I started landscaping in New Jersey.
What year was that?
That was 1994.
All right. $8 an hour in 1994. All right.
M&P Landscape, Mark Pangione, Norwood, New Jersey.
When did the alcohol started? When did you start?
I started
getting
drinking.
to that point?
I was about 11 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 or 11. Yeah.
What was it? Sneaking it?
It was actually, believe it or not, it was a gobel at a campfire, and this will tie in a little bit later of why I continued to drink. I'd been bullied a lot when I was younger because of my color and because I was different than everybody. I grew up in a white community, and I'm brown. And there was I grew up next to an American Indian reservation, the Seneca Indian Reservation. And I didn't fit in with anybody. And I was the youngest out of everybody. I was kind of an accident. So I had, like 9 years younger than everybody. So there was nobody around to kind of help me, protect me. My mom had divorced my dad when I was 5 and went back to Trinidad. So I had to defend myself. So I got real smart, real fast, and real strong. But I wasn't allowed to get in trouble because we had major discipline at home. But when I did drink that gobel one time, I lost my ability to control myself. And somebody said something I didn't like, and I went after them a little bit. And I saw fear in their eyes. And they were a lot bigger than me. Then I realized the truth. They were scared of me. I wasn't scared of them. I knew. I'm the wrestler. I'm the farmer. And they knew that. So that's how alcohol started to be I started to participate a little bit more, is that I made sure that I had been drinking at any party I went to, because that was my strength, was that I wouldn't listen to, I was not scared of my dad and the pain that I would get if I got into trouble. I used that alcohol to defend myself. And then, and it worked all the way until it got me in trouble. You can't manage it well for too long. But slowly but surely, alcohol crept into my life and helped define my personality. I was strong already, but it was a false sense of security. It made me stronger than I needed to be. I did not need to be that physically strong and that aggressive, even though it was cool and it's what the other guys wanted. It did not work out well for me. And eventually, when I started landscaping in New Jersey, I mean, I I got that job. I advanced very quickly and worked for another job. And I was getting $10 an hour. And then I learned how to speak Spanish. And then I'm making $12 an hour, and I'm the foreman. Every day at the end of the day, I would reach down in front of my car. I had a Cutlass, and I had a Mercury Cougar, and I had all these different things. And I'd reach down, and I'd grab that bottle of vodka that was underneath that seat. And I'd hit that on the way home. It could be hot, and I didn't care. I would drink it. Because at that point in time, I was living a pretty unmanageable life. I wasn't happy with what was going on. I felt really embarrassed that I was a landscaper, and all my friends went to college, and we couldn't afford college, and even though I got accepted into all these really good universities. And I was insecure about a lot of different reasons, man. My hair was falling out. I was going bald when I was young, and that was bothering me a lot. My girlfriend was, my high school sweetheart was at college and cheating on me and all these things. And I was insecure. And I dove into work and my bottle. And that's what I would do every single day. I would drink on the way home. And sometimes I would be out of liquor and I would want to go home and I did not want to drink. But for some reason, I could not drive past that ShopRite. And I would drive right into that ShopRite every single day on the way home. And I would buy. And that's what, and then I would drink. And sometimes I wouldn't even eat that night. Sometimes I would pass out on my couch and I would wake up in the same uniform as I was in. And I'd have to go to work just like that. So I'd wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'd have to rush to work. So there had been a few times that had happened to me. And I remember actually my employer, his name was Fred Schrader and Son. That was the name of the company. It was in Emerson, New Jersey. And he actually asked me, he's like, "Hey, Shane, do you do your laundry?" And at this time, guys, I mean, I'd lived an unmanageable life. I was living in a basement apartment because I was a drinker. And I didn't get my life together and I needed a job. And I said, "Yeah, I do my laundry." "Oh, okay, well, you might want to do it more often," he said, because I'm there in clothes probably 3 days old. And that was the first time I remember feeling embarrassment. Come to find out, he'd been sober for 20 years. He had recognized who I was.
Wow.
And the reason being is because, you see, I was not new. I was him 20 years before that. Mm-hmm. And he had seen himself in somebody else. This has been in our industry, and not just landscaping. It's carpentry, it's roofing, it's men that know how to work hard and show up every day.
And drowned out themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they're not happy with their lives. They're not happy with what they have to do, and they don't say that. We just drink about it, forget about it, and we wake up and go back to work until it's 25 years later. And by the grace of God, I got arrested. By the grace of God, I asked to go to rehab. By the grace of God, my mom said yes, and she took me. By the grace of God, I was sent to Florida straight out of a rehab with a one-way ticket and a $500 check made out to a halfway house. The place is called New Way. It doesn't exist now, but it's still there. 503 West Pine Street, Lantana, Florida. February 3rd, 1999, 11:04 a.m. I arrived in Florida. And I was scared. And Carl Moore picked me up, brought me to that halfway house, and that's when I started. I needed a job, but I didn't like landscaping, by the way, because I blamed my whole crappy life on landscaping, when in fact it's because I had been drinking so much, and I couldn't live a manageable life. And I stayed at that halfway house, and I got a job. I was waiting tables and selling used cars, and I only sold one used car because you got to lie to sell cars. I didn't realize that, and I can't lie at all. I throw up. And so I sold one car, and I threw up, and that didn't work out very well. But then I started. There would be a guy that drove by the halfway house, and he'd pick guys up for Saturday mornings, and he'd pay him $50 a day to weed whack and edge and stuff. And I remember saying to the guy, I'm like, "Man, I'm so much better than all these other people. Can't you pay me like $60 a day? $50 a day is what I pay. $50 a day is what I pay." I love driving past that man's house today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived in Lake Clark Shores. So I would go out and I would do it, and eventually I got out of that halfway house and I moved into a 3/4 house, and then I moved out on my own, and unfortunately I had lost my sister. She was my best friend. My mom went back to Trinidad. She raised me, and she was in an accident, and she fell off the 11th story of the Biscay Bay Marriott
No.
on April 14th, 2001.
Sorry for your loss, man.
Yeah.
And that changed me. That changed me a lot. I had been sober at the time, but I had not completed my steps. I was not prepared for life on life's terms. So when she passed, it took me about 6 months, but eventually I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong thing with the wrong girl, and I picked up a Coke, but it was a Jack and Coke, and I kept drinking it. And I was back drinking and partying and doing drugs and getting arrested for 2.5 more years, and put my life at risk, hurt a lot of people, mentally and physically and spiritually. And by the grace of God, I'm sitting here. But on October 15th, 2003 is my sobriety date. And the reason I have my business, and that was the original question about 35 minutes ago, no one would hire me. That's why.
Maybe God wanted it that way.
I applied to Vila and Son. I don't know if you remember Vila and Son.
Yeah.
And a couple other names that I won't mention because they're still in business. But I didn't get a job because I couldn't get a good reference from Styles Landscape. Styles Landscape was where I worked.
Okay.
And they weren't willing to give me a good reference because I had came to them and said that I had relapsed and that I need to quit. I'm sorry. And I quit. And so I started knocking on doors. And I started reaching out to property managers that knew me and knew what was going on. And they had not known about my sister. And I explained to them, I'm sorry, I relapsed. And I was in a lot of pain. And I didn't know what to do. And I said, but I'm back on track. And this is what I'm doing. Do you think you could help me out? So they started passing on work to me. And Bud Feldman was in Southport. And Hunter's Run was my first client. It was like $65, 2 Trinettes, crown of thorns, a couple bags of mulch, and that was my first client, and that's how I started my business. And slowly but surely, somebody's like, Shane, don't you have uniforms? And I said, uniforms? What are you doing? I'm working on the side. And I remember Tim looking at me, and he looked at me, he looked to the left, and he looked to the right. He's like, on the side of what? What are you working on the side of? He's like, it's you. And I was like, okay, I think you're right. It is me. He's like, what's the name of your business? I said, I don't know. So you might want to come up with the name of your business. I said, okay. So I thought about that. And a couple days later, I was like, the thing that I loved the most, or what meant the most to me, was my sister, Maria. And I loved my sister, Maria. I still love her so much. Her nickname is Ria. That's what we called her. So I named my company, and I got registered as Real Landscape, RIA. Mm-hmm. And people would see me at the bushel stop. They'd see me at Gray's Ornamentals. They'd see me, and they'd be like, hey, Shane, it's been a while since we've seen you. What's going on? Did you start your own business? Yeah, oh yeah. What's the name of it? And I'd say Real Landscape. It's like, Real Landscape, what does that mean? Then I have to explain to them that it was my sister, and she fell off the 11th story of the Biscay Bay Marriott, and she died. And I would depress people when I would tell them that. And I remember,
and then you got to remember.
Yeah, I got to remember it all. So I remember getting in the truck, and I remember praying. I said, God, this is horrible. Like, what's going on? I don't know what I did here. And About a week later, a guy from a previous company that I'd applied to saw me and said, "Hey, Shane, did you start your own business?" "Yeah, I did." "Well, I figured you would. You were always really good. What's the name of it?" And I said, "It's Real Landscape." He's like, "Real Landscape? That's an awesome name. And that fits you perfectly." I said, "Yes, it does." I got on my truck and I drove back to the ghetto where I lived. 607B North Broadway, Lantana, Florida, 33462. I got on my dial-up computer, sunbiz.org, and I typed in Real Landscape Inc.
Nothing.
And I prayed. And I hit enter, and it was mine. It cost me $13. I went to Delray, and I changed it from RIA, RIA, to Real Landscape. I know why I named my company. God knows why he changed it for me. I own that name, and it's exactly who I've been since I was a child. And everybody that knows me knows that's me. And I didn't really mean to be this way. This is just who I am. And it's really difficult. So part of the success of my company is that it's hard to do a bad job when everything that you own says Real Landscape on it.
Accountability.
Yeah. It was every time I see it, I see how beautiful my sister is and that she's not here. And she was drunk when she died. And that's why I'm not allowed to drink. And that's why the blessings of my company are the blessings from the one that kind of raised me and that told me all the things that were going to happen for me that I didn't believe when I lived on that dairy farm, growing up abused.
Yeah, just so much pain. So much pain. Thank you for being real today.
Yeah. I don't think I have a choice.
Yeah.
It's all over everything I own.
When did you accept God into your life?
The day I told him to get away from me. I was 10. It's the first time I ever recognized that he was real. Ironically, a good friend of mine, God rest his soul, his name's Eric Bowen. He just recently died. He was 52. I'm 50. He was a small guy. And like I said, I was very young when I won the state tournament when I was young. So I was around a lot of like older kids that were small because I was just oddly big but young. I only got along with certain kids, and they're always older, like I said. He was at my house, and he was spending the night. He was from Portville, New York. So my parents let him spend the night. And that same night, I got a phone call from my grandfather. And he's like, "Get over here really quick." He lived right next door to me in a trailer. So I ran over there, and I walked inside, and he wasn't doing well. So I ran out to the barn, grabbed my dad. He wasn't there. My dad had walked to my house. I got my dad in the house, ran back to the trailer, and my grandfather died right there in front of me. He had a heart attack and died.
At 10.
At 10. I loved my grandfather a lot. He was my dad's dad. He was the only one in my life that didn't hurt me. He never physically hurt me, or he didn't say anything mean to me. He didn't know what color I was. He loved me. He'd always give me candy. He showed me a penthouse. He showed me everything about women. He'd tell me dirty jokes. But he hugged me a lot. He loved me. When they got into the car and they pulled away, and I saw him sitting in the back seat and his tongue was sticking out, I knew he was dead. And they drove away, and I told Eric to go back in the house, and I ran out into this big, huge field, and I told God I hated him. And I didn't even know what the word renounce was, but I heard somebody say it in a movie, so I said it to him. I renounce you. That was the moment I accepted God was real, because I had never talked to him before. Unfortunately, I told him to go screw himself the first time I talked to him. But I know that's the moment that I accepted God in my life.
That's a good one. That's powerful. When did you start following his guidance in your life?
When I did the third step of Alcoholics Anonymous, where I made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood him, I got down on one knee and I understood him as Jesus Christ. That's when I accepted Christ in my life.
And then from there, because one thing that I've talked about on this podcast, actually taking action with what the Holy Spirit tells you to do. And I brought it up in an episode talking about flowers. How my trainer at the gym would always be called to stop and get his mom flowers, but he wouldn't. Like it was whatever. I'm not going to do it right now. Right? And then he actually did it. And everything in their family changed from that moment on. And it's kind of, it's kind of like that, right? The Holy Spirit tells you to do something, but you disregard it, right? So it's like, when do you submit to what the Holy Spirit tells you? Some people call it what is it called, Eddie?
Your white light experience?
Yeah, your intuition, or I should
your
do this.
epiphany.
Yeah, I
your
should
moment
do
of
this.
clarity.
Right? And that's really what it is. I should stop and talk to this person, even though I have a million things I gotta go do. But it's okay. I should go after this whole list that I have to execute today, but this popped up, and I'm gonna go do that. And like know that it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, so the question is, you're asking, when did I really truly start following the Holy Spirit, listening to his voice?
Because that's what's really changed your life.
Yes. I would say this. I would say I have what you call, there's quite a few moments we don't, but I have what you call a learned spiritual experience. What does that mean? That means because I worked the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, I was introduced to a way to live, to help manage my life, because it was extremely unmanageable. It helped me make a decision. It helped me recognize that I wasn't God. Okay? And I already knew that, but I was playing God in my life.
Putting yourself first.
I was
and
putting
your
myself
wants.
first. And not just that, but I was making the decisions. I wasn't consulting with anybody. Okay? I was making the decisions. And it was through fear, because it was always based on, how am I about to get hurt? Who can hurt me right now? I'm going to make my decisions based on the least amount of pain that I got to go through. So that's kind of how I would decide. I got lost there for a second. I'm trying to think.
No, it's
Okay. So how did I
get to the point
where I
when
started
the Holy
following?
Spirit,
I had to ask. I had to ask, like, will you please talk to me? Because I remember in the very beginning of, asking my sponsor, like, what's God's will in my life? Just tell me, and I'll do it.
Like, why am I here?
Yeah, why am I here? Like, well, God's will is different in everybody's life. Okay, well, tell me what it is in my life, because I want to do it. Because remember, I will write down a goal. I will do it. Like, I'm going to do it. And it's just, I remember this guy's name was David Shepard. He looked at me, he's like, yeah, that's not how that works with God's will. I'm going, well, what is it? How does it work? Tell me what it is. He's like, yeah, I can't tell you what God's will. And if anybody ever tells you what God's will is in your life, don't listen to them, because they don't know, because they're not God. God's going to tell you. How's God going to tell you? Through the Holy Spirit. So I hadn't known. So God has been in my life for a long, long time. I didn't realize that until I figured out how he speaks and how he works. And then you start reading the word, then you understand how he's been in your life. So I started listening before I actually started listening.
Took action.
Yeah. I listened, I think, when I called my mom that morning and asked her to take me to rehab.
That was your first step.
Yeah, I believe that was
Excuse me.
when the Holy Spirit. That was the first time. Like, no, you call your
actually
mother.
took action.
Call your mother right now. And I called her up. She's like, yes, no problem. Okay. She came pick me up, took me. Like, and there's a whole long stuff that was going on before that. But I mean, just like that. She's like, okay, yeah, I'll
And
see you in a
she
little
said
bit.
yes.
Yeah, she was right there. And I want to tell you something that moved me. Okay, that's very important. It was in Bergen Pines, New Jersey. And I remember when we went there and they said, we don't have any availability until tomorrow. So I had to go back home with my mom. And I lived in like I said, a basement apartment. I went back to their place, to my mom's. And I sat there. I remember it was miserable all day, in fear. Then we went back the next day. And we came to the main room. And we go through all the paperwork and stuff. Like, okay, well, you go through that door right to the left. And my mom's coming and she's like, no, you don't go. And we'll reach back out to you. I said, okay. And I looked at my mom and I'm like, bye, Mom. And I'm 23. And I close the door and I walk down this hallway. And then I make a left. And I'm walking down this little bit more narrow hallway. And there's a table there and there's a woman there. And she looks up. She's like, are you Shane Leader? I said, yeah, I am. She's like, geez, we've been waiting to see you for a long time. Man, you have no idea that I didn't realize that she said that to everybody. But when she said, are you Shane Leader? Man, we've been waiting for you. I made sure I remembered that. Because I want to make sure every person that is in pain and in fear that have been carrying it, when they come around a corner and they see me, I want them to know that I've been waiting for them for a long time. I don't know who that woman is. I see her face. She's my idol. That's one of the main reasons why I'm here. We've all had to go to rehab somehow, some way in our lives, and we've all walked down a hallway in fear. Not all of us have had a person sitting at a desk knowing our name and letting us know that we're special.
100%.
I started chasing Jesus Christ when I dove into service in Alcoholics Anonymous. I started picking the men from the halfway house that I lived in, and I knew what it was like to live there. I knew that they didn't have anything, and they were from a different state, and they didn't have any money, and they'd been lying. So I would show up, and I would tell them that. And after they calmed down, I would tell them, well, listen, I know what the truth is. I'm like, well, what's the truth? I don't know exactly your truth, but I know what my truth is. What's that? It's odd, but his name is Jesus. It's going to feel really uncomfortable. But if you follow me, I'm going to take you to the store, get my car, we'll go buy some food, and I'll take you to meetings, and we'll go to Bible studies. And not everybody would jump in my car, but a lot of people did because they were scared. They didn't have a choice. So I had them cornered. I had them cornered in fear. But I knew that I knew where to find the answers. So I started really chasing Jesus Christ on March 23rd, 2004. On a Tuesday night, it was 7:04 p.m. I was 4 minutes late to a Bible study. I picked up Adam from New Way, and I had a whole bunch of debris in the back of my truck. I had it tarped. Some of it came out. I had to run back and tarp it back, and I was embarrassed. I was looking for this place. I was going to this new place, and it was in a community, and I didn't know where to park. And so anyway, I was late, and I was pissed. I don't like being late. So I walk in. Right before I walked in, I looked down at my watch. I saw it was 7:04. So I open up the door, and I walk in, and I see my wife sitting there.
Before she was your wife.
Before she was my wife. I sit down, and I have to sit down on the floor because there's no seats. And man, for some reason, I am looking at this woman, and I try to move my head to the left, and I move my head to the right, but my eyes still stay on her, and she's staring at me. And Adam, the redhead, he taps me. He's like, "Man, that girl's into you." I'm like, "Will you shut up, please?"
We're in church.
That was the last night of that Bible study. That was the worship leader to our church, and he was moving to Colorado. So everybody was going to dinner after that. So we all went to Chili's after that. So what I did was that I sat across from her, and I ignored her like I do all hot women. Unfortunately for me, she didn't like that, and she left. And this is when I heard the voice for the first time distinctively. Go get her. And I got up, and I went outside, and I looked to the right. She wasn't around. I went around Chili's, and I started to panic because I thought she had left. And I came all the way back around the other corner, and I saw her getting into her maroon Jeep Liberty. And I ran to that car, and I got there. She rolled down the window, and I had nothing to say. I didn't know what to say. I had been breathing, and I'm like, I didn't even think about it. And because I don't pick up women. And I just tell her the truth. I was like, you know what? My mom said that if I ever saw somebody that was beautiful, to tell them, because they might need to hear it that day. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody as beautiful as you. And she's my wife.
But they got lying, man.
You came in with the truth, man. Wow, the truth will set you free. That's what I said this morning in the office.
She's we're married 21 years. Her name is Tracy Denise Leader.
Wow.
And she's the most beautiful thing in the world. Mm. She's from Slapout, Alabama. And she's like an angel, dude. She's beautiful. And she's so sweet on the inside, and she's so full of grace. She is everything that I am not supposed to have. Mm-hmm. That's why when you said, wait, when did you start listening to him? That night when he said, go get her. And when I realized that, I never not listened to him ever again. Ever. She's my bride. We are the bride of Christ. He gave me my bride. Mm. I'm forever faithful to Jesus Christ. Mm. It's just, it's not going any other way.
The reason I asked you is because it's one thing is to know who he is, and another thing is to follow him. Another thing is to actually go, and that's, I feel like, one thing that I struggled with a lot back in the day before I went all in was that, and just to the other day, even talking about Christ on this podcast. I got beat in my mind that you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about anything like that or politics in business with your clients, because that can hurt sales. Right. And it can, because those are touchy topics. But it got to the point that in my prayer time, God tells me, my son, I've given you everything. And I told you this one time when I first personally met you that one day. What are you waiting for? Like, this is what I need you to go and talk about, So, or one of the things I need you to talk about. So that's just another perspective, or let's say another category in life that like there's so many ways. That's one way you listen to him to get your spouse, and that continues in the day to day with your spouse every single day. You have on here how having a relationship is so important, you know, with your wife, and making time. It's not just about being a provider, and that's something that a lot of men think. I provide, so I'm good, but when your life is in pieces and you're divorced and your kids and you didn't break the generational curse, you did all the things daddy did, and or you saw somebody else do, or whoever mentored you, or you know whoever taught you, or whoever you looked up to, admired, you did that, and it's not the right choice. It's a selfish choice.
It's a selfish.
You know, at the end of the day, when you walk with faith, God will provide. And what was the word that you said the other day? I mean, earlier today, that you have to be
Intentional.
no, you have to be satisfied.
Satisfied, yeah.
You know, like that is a hard word for someone to be, because most people are never satisfied.
Well, you know something is that what I said to you before, 24 hours a day, like we have what we need today. You be satisfied with what you have today. You can write down goals and you can look at them. We can be prepared for tomorrow. You can have things set up. You have a schedule for tomorrow. You've invested in today. That's why you should be satisfied in today.
Yeah, and enjoy.
So the people that are not, honestly, excuse me, when I'm not satisfied tomorrow, if I'm worried about tomorrow, it's because I didn't do my job today. That's what the problem is that the majority of the time that you're in fear of tomorrow is because you are on your phone scrolling through Instagram rather than doing your invoicing. You're goofing off in your bad habits. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not following a schedule. You don't have a schedule that you wrote down. So then you're living in like this uneasy fear of what's going to happen tomorrow. And then you lie to everybody and you're like, oh, I'm so stressed out. I'm the business owner. You don't understand how I live. No, I know exactly how you live.
Yeah, you make excuses.
You make excuses. Yeah. You're not following the rules. What rules? The rules you didn't write down. You're complaining about things that are directly your fault.
And to have solutions.
Yeah.
And everybody's are different. You know, I said on a podcast with someone
But they're
else,
not. They are absolutely not. They're all the same.
They're the same.
But
what you write down might be a little bit different.
Right. When I say that, like, different is like the person's name is different. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, the street that the problem is on is different. It's usually the same.
It's usually
principally
but
problem.
also it comes back to community. It comes back to people giving off wisdom and knowledge. A lot of let's say people that want to know how to get there, that don't know how to get there, they're missing the how-to. They're missing the step-by-step. I know everybody's steps are different, right, depending on where they're at. And I said on a podcast once that you can listen to 1 million podcasts, and what you need to do is just stop listening and go and take action.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you got to do. But some people physically really don't know exactly what steps to take. Like, I'm dealing with customers today that have been open for 10+ years, that they owe money for 4 months, right?
What's her address?
Well, no, we're not going to say that here. But, you know, and it's to the point where it's like these people should know what steps they need to take to prevent this to happen. It's almost that I'll talk about it here. I talked to Eddie and I talked to Esteban in the office. And I was like, man, you know, that as someone that follows Christ, if like one big sin for me that I'll be shamed upon if I did this, right, through Christ, is if I offer you a drink of alcohol. But alcohol's not bad, right? I can have a drink of alcohol. Right. I'm not sinning. But now when I drink it excessively or I offer it to somebody that I know that can hurt them. Same thing with lust. Same thing with all those things. Procrastination, slack. Hey, bro, let's forget about work. Let's go hang out. Let's go to the gym today, bro. Let's go to the sauna all day. Right? You're not pushing your brother to do what they're supposed to do, right? Same thing with giving credit to people that don't know how to take care of it.
Okay.
I'm sinning because I'm basically fueling something that the person on the other side doesn't know how to handle.
But do you know why you're doing it?
To make sales.
Exactly. That's why
which is I know, but it's incorrect.
absolutely. And it's,
So
it's
and that we've cut it out. We've cut it out already.
Okay.
But this is old money. Okay, that's been owed, right?
Owed.
Yeah, it's been owed.
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 Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Old.
Yeah, it's been owed.
right.
Right. March 1st, we set a standard and boundary.
Yeah,
Right. You can't take plants unless you pay.
absolutely.
Right. And that's how it rolls. And if you want to take plants without paying, you have to have a credit app signed, and it's got to have a personal guarantee at the bottom.
Yeah.
And if you can't sign it, man, I love you, bro. But listen,
No.
I have to respect myself, and I have to respect my team, and I have to respect you. So I'm sorry. And I'm raising my prices. Right? They call. Hey, we need this estimate. Guys, send them back the estimate. We're going to do our job. When they call and they say, send it to me on this day, you tell them they got to pay this and pay that. So when that was said, it was ghosts. So they stole the money. They don't answer the phone anymore. These are God-fearing men. So my job, looking at it from a different perspective, is to call them. I'm going to wait a couple more days. And when I call them, it's letting them know this, that I'm sorry for taking you and helping you sin.
Yeah. Okay.
And you need to break this habit because you're not going to get nowhere. I don't care about the money. I can use the money. It's a lot of money, right? But God will provide it in a different way. I'm at a point right now where I don't need the money. I'm here talking to you about
Right.
life and about things that are empowering, struggles you've been through, right? Allowing you to relive these memories. God will provide. It's okay, right? So now that I think of it like that, I can't unthink of it like that.
That's part of something that that I'm starting to learn on my own. I'm not really. I know this is odd, but I'm not really big into forgiveness. I've had to learn why. And the reason why I'm not big into forgiveness is because there's a price to be paid. And I've been hurt a lot and manipulated a lot and premeditated a lot. And the Lord hates 6 things, detests them.
What are they?
I don't know. I know that I do know. I'm sorry. Murder, quick to lie. Number 1 is lying. Number 2 is taking advantage of somebody that doesn't have. Number 3 is shedding innocent blood. Number 4 is premeditation. Planning on it. Planning on it. He also does not like a haughty tongue, looking down on people. He definitely does not like that, and neither do I. I catch you doing that, I will sin. That's part of one of my issues, is that I'm aware of that, and I need to remove myself from that situation. Not allowed to hurt people. And the 6th one escapes me. Where are we going with that? I'm sorry. What did I say?
We're talking about you were talking about how you sinned, that the person
You don't forgive.
that you don't
Oh
forgive.
yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's tough. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgiveness. What I'm learning lately is, yes, that's what Christ did. He's the epitome of forgiveness. What he did was forgive. That's why he showed up, is so that we were forgiven and we could live in freedom. Because, that really bothered me that I wasn't big into forgiveness. And here I'm chasing Jesus Christ, and I'm like, but he's forgiveness. And it was so confusing. It's really difficult to deal with. I felt like a hypocrite. Until I finally said it out loud. Like, I don't like to forgive because I want to hurt this person back. I'm not going to lie. I'm sick of lying and saying, that I feel this way because I love Jesus. Well, no, I still love Jesus, and I still want to punch this guy in the face because he's premeditating against me, trying to hurt me and take stuff away from me. I was born and raised to hurt things and crush them and eliminate them from the situation. Like, that's what I do, and it works really well until you become 18, and then they can put you in jail for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what I have learned lately is what you were saying. Like, hey, let me forgive this debt. Why? Well, because you certainly can't be helpful to them if you still resent them. God provided enough money for you to have to be able to sit with the man and say, listen, what you're not paying me is not preventing my children from eating. What you're not paying me is preventing you from talking to me. I'm here to talk to you. I will not let the enemy separate me from you. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. He's using money to separate you from me. I'm here to share with you that I'm open. I'm
100.
here to pray for you.
100%.
What do I need to pray for you in your life?
Mm-hmm.
That man needs you in his life because God planned that a long time ago. He planned it in the dedication that you put in, all the times that you did listen to the Holy Spirit, and all the times that he didn't. He's the beginning, the middle, and the end. He knows the answers to everything. We just need to keep following the Spirit. Mm-hmm. And just do it in a spirit of fearlessness. Yeah. I mean, when you're bold, and you can't go around acting like an idiot.
Yeah, no.
But step in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't be afraid to step in. Yeah. But that's where I'm at, where it's like, I can't do it anymore. Obviously, it's not a smart business move. But also, aside from that, it's there's something deeper there that needs to get fixed.
Well, by the way, with the business, I like what you're doing. Okay, so my business is I don't dig a tree unless it's paid for. Yeah. Like, I don't do any of that stuff. Well, why is that? Sorry. No, why is that? I grew up watching, coming and walking in these offices and paying for stuff and then seeing all the checks on the wall. Yeah, like the checks, the wall of shame.
That's from your side of the landscape world. From our side, from the nursery world, what's normal is you got to give this guy terms because everyone else will give him terms, and he won't buy from you if you don't give him credit.
Right. So what we're doing as young individuals, we're coming along and saying, guess what? Yep. I can appreciate the way it used to be. But, Elvis is no longer in the building.
Yeah.
He died. Yeah. Yep. I mean, the Beatles are gone. Now people can Zelle from their phone, dude. Mm-hmm. So the deal is, in order to deal with me, okay, so this is how I'm doing this.
You no longer want to be the bank.
Right. Well, this is it. This is what Real Landscape Nursery is this. Okay, let me back up a little bit. So the wall of shame, every time I'd go in and I'd see it on the wall, and I would say, if it was, especially if it was somebody I'm buying from that I like, what do you mean this guy owes you money? Where's he at? I'll go get it, because trust you me, I can get money. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I've always done.
Instill fear.
Instill fear in an individual. Mm-hmm. And now, I'm going to beat you up. No, it's no, I'm here to collect money. And there's about 15 different ways that we can collect it. Mm-hmm. You can have a police officer standing right there. Mm-hmm. 14 ways he's going to be okay with. Mm-hmm. But we're collecting the money.
Yeah.
So I would feel that way for this person that I liked and respected. So I would have that old feeling in me, right? And looking up at the wall. Okay, fast forward. Why does Real Landscape Nursery not take checks?
Because you'll hurt somebody that don't pay you.
Yes.
You want to do the one thing out of the 15.
Yeah, the one thing that I want everybody to know. Yeah, I want everybody to know this is that I love Christ with my whole heart. I am still a man. Mm-hmm. And I still have to carry who I used to be a little bit. You don't lose that. Mm-hmm. You do not. That's what steady prayer, conscious contact with God, working in ministry, working with men, is to be reminded of who you've become. Because at least for right now, that hasn't gone away. So my point is that just because I love Christ does not mean I'm not Shane Leader. Trust you me, I'm more Shane Leader today than I have ever been. And I'm allowed to be a man. I've strengthened because of Christ. Now I really know who I am. Before I was like kind of know who I was. And I was just a lot of energy, strength, and discipline within a body. Like now my mind is sharp beyond normal. Like that's true strength when you have God on your side. I mean, that's, but for some reason the enemy Satan himself has tries to convince me and other men like, well, don't say his name out loud because you'll be looked at like you're stupid. The most ultimate badass kings of all time chased Christ. The most powerful men of all time are Christ followers. Remember that. The weakest ones that always fail never had God in their life.
True. And these are men that would kill and they would go to
lie,
war.
cheat, and steal.
They were lustful. They were everything.
I mean, it's like, and it's the most amazing thing is that that's why Christ showed up, is that we live with sin in us. We don't have to feel guilty that we have that in us. It's not our fault. I finally got through that. And going back to forgiveness. Why is it important what you're doing right now? Is because you're advancing. You're young to get this. I know that I'm just getting this. Is that, like I said, I didn't like forgiveness because they still had to pay a price. Revenge is mine, said the Lord, but he's just so slow. I'm learning if I pause and I back up, man, they screw themselves so bad that I couldn't plan that for them. I actually got to get out of the way, show forgiveness, even though I don't believe it 100%. The fact is that I'm trying keeps me away from the enemy. And that's the key, is staying away from him, because he will feed it. And then you screw up. Then everything that you do bad, you'll do again. You just keep stepping into forgiveness. Even though it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It's disrespectful. It's every word in the book. But it gets to a point where it will consume you. And if you allow that to, overcome and overpower your day, now I can have a horrible day, horrible podcast. This was about 18 minutes before we sat down.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, this was right now. I went and I got the credit app and I shredded it. I said, hey guys, because there's people in the office. Hey guys, look, this guy. I'm sorry, no more credit, okay? No more credit. And I shredded it. And I said, this is what it is, we can't be dumb,
One thing I think is that part of I'm sorry, Zelle or ACH payment only or credit card, whatever it is, it takes somebody or something or a band of people or whatnot to create a movement, okay? To create, like, listen, this is going to change. Let's do it on our own terms instead of it just being scattered, all right? There's a reason why we take it. Like, another thing is that banks, like, the checks, what's cool, one of the problems is, and let's just talk about it, is checks, it's fraud, okay? Credit card, checks, get the numbers off and screwing up your bank account, right? But there's no fees, okay?
With checks.
With the checks. Right. Dude, I get nailed. QuickBooks just has a fee now. The bank has a fee. Everything has fees. But last year was like $9,200 in fees. Right. If they were just checks, there'd be no $9,200. Right. I'm a small business. Imagine your revenue coming through. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, so QuickBooks, for you guys listening, just send us an email that we can pay ACH now for free.
What?
Yeah. So it was 15 cents. It was $20.
It was $20 or 1% of the transaction.
For us to pay. For you to pay, it's still the same. So if we send you a bill, it's still the same.
Okay.
But for us to pay. So our biggest thing and what we're trying to do is go checklist with our vendors as well, which we did. So we're only digital with our vendors. One company. So let's say you have a landscape install. You reach out to us, we do an estimate, a quote, we send it back to you. There can be 45 nurseries we got to buy from to fulfill your order.
Right.
And that's one truck for one customer in one day. We can do a lot of people in one day.
Okay.
So we can go to 100 vendors, 120 vendors in a day to go gather up all the product that we need to supply for all the people that reached out that need the delivery the next morning. And that's just one day.
Right. No, I
That's
hear
a
you.
Monday. So we still got Tuesday and Wednesday, and then you got
Yes.
30 days, right, of this in a month. So
Yes.
it's disastrous. It's a
Yes.
lot of paperwork.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So we're trying to go completely digital. So we're paying everything. I
And
forgot
what does
I was
that mean
going.
for our vendors? That means that our vendors get paid right away.
So we're trying to go COD. So another thing we're trying to
COD,
break
yeah.
is COD. So checklist was one thing. It was like, all right, we know we have to do this to get to the point where we can pay people COD. Because if we can pay people digitally at the end of the day or the next morning by 9 in the morning, you know, when everyone got their deliveries
Yeah.
and everything's good, everything looks good, send the payments. It was great, and that's what I was getting at. It was like $15 for the first 10. So it was going to cost us $1.50 to send a payment. But after that, it was 15 cents or 40 cents.
Yeah.
And I did the math, and I was like, this is still way cheaper than
Yeah.
doing a check and printing it, the ink of that, then all the physical labor that goes into that,
Right.
then having to mail it out or physically go drop it off because we will go do that, which is good. There is that touch.
Yes.
So
but-
someone would go and say, hey, thank you for everything, man. God bless you. Thank you for helping us out. Keep growing beautiful plants. Boom.
Boom.
And they will give the check to the person in the hand. That's awesome. But it's a vendor. It's
Yeah.
not a customer. It's okay.
Right.
It's not the end of the world.
Right.
They much rather have their payment not 45 days later. They much rather have it tomorrow at 9 in the morning.
Absolutely.
So, you know, we're figuring this out. And now QuickBooks went free for us to pay people. So that's going to save us probably like $25,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know,
And
but we
since
were already
we're doing
saving
it-
money.
Since we're doing it like that with our vendors, we also expect to do so with our customers. So if we are at that point with our vendors, anybody that comes
No,
in,
but that's
bring
where
us
it
the
starts.
cash. But I'm
No,
just
but that's
saying-
where it starts.
But
Like, for you to give us an order, let's say, and it's 50 grand, I would have to go up front, let's say 40 grand, because I didn't have all 50
Right.
here. And I wait for you to pay me after we deliver. Right?
30
because
days
that,
or something.
Or no, let's say the next day. But I'm still upfronting 40.
Right.
And it might not be 40 physically, but it's 40 in a signature or a handshake. That is still 40 that I owe, and you're one dude with one order on one day. Right? So then you get caught up, man. And then you fumble the ball, and buddy over there fumbles the ball, and another guy fumbles the ball. I owe $500,000 I don't have.
Right.
Right? So now I gotta be disciplined enough. To not have the side by side, to not have the contender, to not have the house over here. And I have to go have a paid off asset because banks don't lend like that unless you have something to give them. To then I have to go pay
Everybody.
a property down to zero. To then go to the bank and say, can you give me 50% on a credit line? That's discipline.
Yeah.
Because when you get this money, the last thing you want to go do is put it into something you already have.
Correct.
So I had to learn to do that. Now I'm paying this down to zero. So now I have an asset that everybody would want to give me 50% on. Right? Maybe I can stretch it to 60 or 70%. So let's say I have $1 million asset now that's paid for. I can go get $500,000 of credit. And that's what I had to do. But then now my credit lines are full.
Right.
And I'm paying 9%, 11%. Why? Because I'm not man enough to break the curse
Right.
that is hovering over our industry because of what other people might think or clients that I might lose or whatever.
And it's fear.
And it's fear.
And it's fear, and it's based on money.
Yes. So that's when the Lord told me, my child, you need to talk about me. And that was like one of the first things where I was like, you're right, Lord. Then people don't know this, but my mother recently passed, right? And what I went through with that, right, like just the blessings of that is powerful. And I don't take that anymore. I don't take anything less than what it should be for both sides.
Okay.
I don't take anything less. I rather, like I told the team, guys, I'd rather shrink this place down to 20 people and be an army.
Right.
Okay, be the SWAT team out here, than have to deal with what I'm dealing with. And then, like I said earlier, God is taking away things from us. Taking away. But it's actually blessings.
Right.
Because one property, I said, got sold. So when it got sold, that means we have money.
Cash.
And that money got to go to take care of other things that shouldn't have been. But they did. And they were good. We eliminated them. So that's why I said God provides. If this guy don't pay, God provided other things that paid the credit line. I don't need his money.
You don't need his money. And you won't, if you learn.
And it was a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
That the reason I don't have that money in my account is because of my fault. Because I fueled and I gave somebody alcohol that shouldn't have had it.
And then you blamed him for what
And
he
then
did
I
with
blamed
it.
him. Well, I could have blamed him. But
Well, the one thing
I'm forgiving him.
one of the things that I've realized is something that I have available to me, but I've never had to use it because I've been intelligent and very smart with money. And that's one thing that really needs to be talked about is how to manage your money well.
Yeah,
And that's
there's
something
none of that. And the steps.
Yeah, dude, it's easy. It is easy
Discipline.
to be a millionaire. It's easy, especially in this industry if you work hard. Okay. But one of the things that I've never had to deal with is, say, for instance, a large company gets a large $700,000 to $50,000 job. Okay, it's a commercial job, so their percentage is 30% instead of 50% or 28% or something. It's deposits. Okay, so robbing Peter to pay Paul. These large companies, they don't get deposits from these large construction companies, or if they do, they're not using it intelligently. Okay, so that's why they're making you hold the bag.
Yeah. Being
Because
the bank. That's what I'm saying.
you're being a bank because they take that money and they go pay Paul. They rob Peter to pay Paul. No, they go pay Paul. I'm sorry, they go pay Paul from the last job.
Yeah.
So they don't get a chance to use their deposit for what they need to use it for. Okay.
And then the vendor is like us, like the nurserymen, are the idiots.
Correct.
Excuse my French.
Well, you're not. Well, you were the idiots because you were taught to be idiots.
Yes,
by your
we
father.
don't know we're idiots,
Yes.
but we're idiots.
But well,
in the sense of allowing this to continue to happen,
well,
and then
no.
we're here.
Hear me
We're
out. We're stuck because we put stuff in the ground that we got to sell, and they know it. So we're in prison to the stuff that's in the ground that we got to sell. So we'd rather have somebody in contract to buy something that we're growing than not. So at least that we have somebody on the hook to buy some of this stuff.
or someone that took it already.
Yeah.
So then I'd rather go chase it than have to find somebody else. But that
I don't think that's going to be eliminated from the nursery. You're never going to be able to get that 100% out. But I do know that what you're doing is important and that it can help. It's like this.
It's like a restructure.
Yeah, there's no structure at all. Like there's no guidelines.
It's a restructure of the
Yes,
industry.
it's like, hey guys, listen, we're big enough. We supply our quality. Okay, so the key is this:
having something.
What do
that's
you got?
Good. Yeah, so we have our service, we have our quality.
So what do you have that somebody else, a couple good companies that you have to eliminate credit would be like, I'm so sorry, man, but there's no more credit for you, bud. And you got $3,000 worth of credit. That's it. Yeah, but my order's $30,000. I understand. Next year you'll have $3,500 worth of credit, and it's because of abuse.
Right.
No, the people that have credit here,
Well, when I say that,
the
I'm
only
being
people that have
ridiculous.
credit here,
Yeah, he's being
I
an
get you.
example.
The only people that have credit here are people that a handshake actually means something.
Right.
So that's the only way you really get credit here. And they have big lines. They'll have 50, 100 grand, 200 grand. It's okay. But they're going to pay. Like they would pay with my eyes closed regardless. Like, those are the people that I want to give credit to. The people that are struggling that, you can't offer it. You
Right.
can't.
The key is building the relationships with the people. You got to find out why. The key is being able to be with these men, pray with them, see what's going on in their lives. Like how do we end up here?
Yeah.
How can I help you? I'm young. I'm going to give this to my kids. I don't like how this is. I don't like that you get a deposit and you got to pay Paul from the last job. Like, how did you get there? Like, what can we do? Because we no longer are going to hold the money for a year. Like, no, we're going to come knock on your door. Like, we're actually going to knock on your door because you can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, because it takes too much energy and time, and I'm going to put myself in a position that I got a limited time on Earth and a limited time, like, per day.
Or at least plant a seed and have that combo, plant the seed, let them figure it out. And then
Have them come back
hopefully
with
they
answers.
come back. They
Because
come back with something.
That's the thing is that, sometimes in life, like I know this for my business, when COVID hit and then a lot of things went away, I focused on one set of client that didn't run out of money. That was it.
Right.
You know why? Because I'd saved my money.
But you got to get built up to be able to service that client.
Yeah.
Like you got to know what they want. You got to know. You got to be around it a little bit. One thing that did give me confidence to do this, aside from God telling me to do this, was the credentials that we had and who we've become. Like I even told Eddie, I want to change the name to just A's. we could do that now. Like, it's okay. We don't have to have the nursery at the end.
They know who you
Like,
are.
they know who we are. They know we come through. Like, our reputation is there. And that's hard to build. But it gets to the point where you can't have that reputation and continue doing something that you used to do. Like, that's your name, right? Your name's Shane.
is my name.
But you can't. But you gotta be different. You can't be the same old Shane.
You know how you be different? Do exactly what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, that's it.
And that is truly
Being real.
yeah. And then calling when you're going to be late.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We're all late.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going to be 22 minutes late.
Yeah.
We said, okay. Well, then you afford 22 minutes to that person to go do something that they're unmanageable about. Oh man, I got 22 minutes to go do something. So it's being honest.
You're
and
buying them time.
You're
Yeah.
buying. I mean, but it's always about. That's how I became successful, doing exactly what I said I was going to do. Exactly to the penny. Never changing anything.
Us too.
And if you change it, you write down where you lost the money. You show your client, like, I'm not changing this.
Yeah.
This was
We gotta
now. If
move
it's an
from
estimate, it was an estimate. If it's an invoice, it's But if it was a mistake on my part, I show the mistake. I own it, and guess what? I have always learned from. I never make that same mistake again because we have that conversation. As soon as the next client comes up, we have that conversation. So there's so many. I'm so glad I didn't go to college. It cost me so much less to learn from my mistakes. I mean, I probably spent $50,000 in mistakes.
That's cheap.
Exactly. That would have cost me $100,000, and then the interest and stuff like that.
Yeah. My lessons are way up there.
Yeah. Well, you got
I've lost
different
a lot.
numbers. Yeah.
I've lost a lot, but I've learned a lot. One thing I want to talk about. We can continue here, but we gotta go. It's a super long podcast. Look, one thing I really like, and I want to say something.
What long are we? How long are we supposed to be?
No, it's supposed to be an hour. We're like 2 hours in. Look.
Are we? Holy cow!
Look. You guys listening?
You want to do this again?
No, we could do it again.
Of
We
course.
can do another one.
Guys, if you're listening, I want you to listen to this. One thing, and I want you to listen to this, okay? Going back to money, because this is a business-based podcast. Okay. He said that it's easy to become a millionaire in this industry. I want you to know that it's very true. Okay? But you do have to be disciplined. Okay? I also want you to understand from the beginning, if we go back to the beginning of the podcast, he bought 5 acres.
5.5.
5.5 acres. I guarantee you it's multiplied in value.
Oh yes.
Listen to that. Okay. What did you put down on that property?
20%.
20%. What was that at that time?
That was 160K.
Okay, so 160K. I want you to listen to that. There's a lot of guys that I know that they make money. They can make 200K easily, but they live a lifestyle like they made $500,000. Okay. If you live a lifestyle like you make 40, you'll have 160K at the end of the year. You go put down on real estate. You make a payment each month, and now you have some that over time it can create cash flow and can also pivot you into something else. It's going to teach you a lot of lessons, and it's also going to grow in value. One of the ways that I have been able to sit here today is right now I'm not making the money that I made prior because my profits are down, because percentages are down, right? Profits are down. Yeah. Everything's gone up in cost. That's why I'm going up in price on products,
Absolutely.
right, and services, whatever, to be able to, do it, because now we won't be here later on. We won't be here. We'll be out of business, right? But what allows me to sit here with a free and clear mind is I might not take what I used to, right? But the assets that I have invested in over time have climbed so much that it's okay. So you don't make it by just focusing on cash flow. You make it by investing into things that grow over time. And I'm talking about real estate because that's what he brought up. But there's also mutual funds. There's also Roth IRAs. There's also other passive things that you can jump into, okay, that are actual things that go up in value. And real estate, you can get a loan against. You can go buy another one. You can fill up something else. You can do a million things. And it's something that I encourage you, if you're a landscaper and you're really trying to figure out where can I put this money. And also the tax write-offs are ridiculous. That's another game. That's probably the most important game you got to learn is tax write-offs. If you learn that, imagine saving 20 to 30% every year for a 20-year career, 30-year career. It's a lot of money that you save.
And then taking that money and putting it back into
Exactly.
the market,
That
into real
makes-
estate, reinvesting it into your business, your dollar cost averaging. I mean, one piece of advice that I'll give to everybody, I mean, anybody can hear my voice, is you need a wealth manager. You need somebody that you pay money to help you manage your money. Okay? And you don't want to, the way that it's worked for me, it's been fee-based. It's been a percentage base. So I pay 1% of my overall portfolio that helps me manage. And his name is Eric Cornell. I've been with him for a long
Is he a
time.
CPA?
He's a wealth manager.
Wealth manager.
He has a division for Raymond James. He had started through Ameriprise, American Express Financial, and then Ameriprise, built this big, huge group up. Did not like the platform, left it to all the partners, started a new one. Anyway, the point is, Eric has, and I'm not just going to say Eric, but Eric is who I'm working with. But that position in my life is extremely important. I quit college. I'm not a financial wizard, but I pay a financial wizard.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Is like now
From
I
your
get,
lack.
yeah,
That's your lacks, and you're fulfilling it with somebody that knows it.
Now I got the whole point of like, you know, a business owner. Like I remember, I don't know even where I saw it, but I just remember seeing it. Like I'm not a doctor, but I got 9 that work for me.
Yeah.
It's like
having people around you that are smarter than you
That's smarter.
in specific things.
Yeah.
And you want a financial advisor, guys, or financial planner. It gets to a point where some of them might not be able to guide you. Because
Correct.
one of my biggest issues where I would listen to a financial planner that would come, I would have a meeting, and they would push me to the stock market. I'm like, guys, listen, that's not where I go. No. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing this. Like, I need true guidance. And one day, through prayer and everything, God sent me a financial advisor that punched me in the mouth, and he told me straight up, this was like the guru, and he told me, you don't have enough cash saved. And I told him, well, I'm a crazy, like, wild investor. That's all I know how to do. Because the only way you create a lot of money is by whatever you get, whatever you make, throwing it back.
Got to throw it back.
If you hold on to it, you're not making money.
You lose it. Yeah.
And there's a lot of bills I got to pay.
A Cuban guy
things.
told me, I said, old Cuban guy. He looked at me one day. He's like, in order to have a good business, you got to throw money away.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? Just throw it away. I said, what are you talking about?
Just
throw it right back at the business.
Throw it
So just throw it away.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to listen to that guy.
No, well,
guess what?
Well, it's the truth.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. You have to learn how to become an avid, like, very fast-paced investor. You got to see another investment, and you got to go. Like, right now, there's 100 things I can invest in. So the second I get any type of funds, I'm throwing it there. I'm buying more plants. I'm buying more of this. We're growing this plant. We're buying more liners. We're getting another piece of land. We're doing all these extra things that are all investing. Go get another driver. Go get 2 more trucks. Go do this. Go do that. I'll invest into 10 things in a day without even knowing I'm doing it. But it's it's getting rid of the funds.
Listen, this guy's a baller right here. Is talking about all this.
I'm not a baller. It's the truth.
The one thing that not your average person can do all that, and I couldn't do what I'm doing right now. However, the one thing that I did learn when I learned this in Alcoholics Anonymous, when I started doing business meetings, was a prudent reserve, and a prudent reserve is 3 months of our bills,
Which is very hard.
Which is very hard.
Have it in a credit line.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So what you want to do is that you want to have, what I always did was make sure that I had a prudent reserve of 3 months saved. That was all my bills, my rent, my food, my car payment.
Personally and through the business.
Personally and through the business.
Also known as an emergency fund.
As an emergency fund. So prudent is just being cautious, okay? So before I invested in anything, I invested in security.
Right.
So I didn't have fear.
Yeah.
Because then
that's the main thing with everybody.
Yeah.
The bills. How are you going to pay the bills? How
money. So it's always fear and money, and it's all tied in. So there's a system, though. It isn't like, oh, these guys are just rich, or they got it together, or they got lucky. Well, we did. And we totally got lucky. We did.
In life.
But we were there to get lucky. You can't get lucky
You took action.
sitting at your couch, eating a sandwich that you just made. That's just goofy. You can't do that. You have to
made
be
your luck.
out
You
in the
made
dirt.
You made your luck.
Yeah.
You made your luck with all the work that you put into it.
So the prudent reserve is very helpful. And then you can actually risk it. That's how I did it. Then you have something, then you can feel good about risking it. And your average financial advisor You don't walk into the bank and think that dude right there is your guy. It's not your guy. Yeah. You want, just like anything in a job, you go out, you shop around, you go find their clients, you look in the client's eyes. You ask them percentages. How much has your portfolio gone up? How has he helped you? Interview these people. I've done that with Eric. I sat him down at my house. I looked at him. The last guy advised me incorrectly, and I lost a lot of money and sold at the wrong time. And he looked at me, oh, you're young, you'll get it all back. He almost got hurt because I was young at that time, and I was in so much back pain before my spine surgeries and stuff, and I have some jerk off telling me, don't worry about it, you'll get it back. Yeah, it was all jokes, and everybody was laughing. He did not realize how close he was from being hurt. Yeah. I mean, because I lost $120,000. I know. Wow. And this man was about to be hurt bad. Through that anger, thank God, that I was controlled and sober. I'm yelling at my banker on the phone, and one of my own clients hears me yelling and comes out and says, "What? Taps on my truck. Like, what, Shane? What are you doing?" And I'm screaming, and she comes around the corner, and I'm like, "Eric,
not Eric.
What's his name? He was
the guy before Eric.
That was Doug, but then there was Steve. He was my private bank. I'm like, dude, I gotta go. I hang up the phone. I start talking to Linda Lavoie, who's fantastic, Linda Steele, and I started crying right there. And she's like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I lost so much money. I promised my wife all these things that I was gonna do, and now through this investment, this guy, I've lost so much money, and I've never seen that before in my life, and now half of it's gone. Oh my God." And I remember Linda putting her hand on my shoulder saying, "Listen, Shane, I know that you think that guy's a jerk, but what he said is true. You're going to get all that back." And I said, "But I can't. I sold it all." And she's like, "Listen, I have a guy that I work with. His name's Eric. He's not a pushy guy. He's very, very good. Just talk with him." Okay. So I set up an appointment. He comes to my home. We sit down and we talk. And I tell him, I fast forward, I say, "Listen, you are going to be handling everything that I have left over of all the work I put in and everything that I promised Tracy and all the goals and the plans that I have for the future. So if you screw me over or lie, I'm going to tackle you." And he laughed just like that. Just like that. He has no idea how serious I was. Mm-hmm. I had his address to his home before he had children. Okay. And he looked back he's laughing. He looked at Tracy, and Tracy's like, "Yeah, he's not kidding." And then he looked back at me, serious. And he's a good looking man, sharp. He looked right at me. He's like, "Okay, I'll take that challenge." "All right, then you're my dude." Dude, I have been to about 10 of his kids' football games and soccer games. I've landscaped all 3 of his houses.
How long ago was this?
That was 18 years ago.
And you got your money back.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
As I sit here.
I see those things as learning lessons. That God will take things away from you to see what you do.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? How are you going to respond? What's your character like? What have you learned from what I've taught you prior? And it's going to be okay. So those are those lessons where it's like it is what it is.
And what's awesome is that man taught me about everything that I needed to know, that I'm reading in books and magazines trying to figure out. Guys, I'm telling you, go find somebody that knows and pay the man. Just like they're paying you as being a landscaper, go pay the man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's a whole other topic too. People don't want to. They don't do that. They don't pay for advertising. They don't want to. They don't want to.
We can sit down and do a clinic on how to take the money that you make and create budgets for you, your family. Like, don't buy anything that you can't buy 10 of them cash. Yeah. If you can't buy 10 of them cash, you don't buy it. Yeah. And then if you can buy 10 of them cash, why the hell are you buying it in the first place? What are you doing? What are you doing? Shut up. Go back to work. How old are you? Go back to work. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you got to tell you. I mean, you got to, a schedule, but...
No, life can be tough, too, because life throws a lot of things at you, especially when you have kids and stuff. Like, there's a lot of things that can happen. But for the most part, learn how to do that. Eddie, what's up?
I think I wanted to say this earlier, but if you're in your spiritual journey and you're trying to be closer to God, I guess, in a way. Stop expecting. Stop expecting and start allowing and accepting, if I could state that in a way. Like a lot of people say they follow God and they expect a lot of blessings. It's not about expecting blessings, it's allowing blessings, if that makes sense to you guys. I think a lot of people don't have an open heart to accept, but they always expect. I'll let that kind of resonate, because that's kind of how I see it. Is instead of expecting, always allow things to come into your life. Allow God to give you your blessings, because God provides in unexpected ways. You know, it's not when you want it to happen, it's when he wants it to happen.
Yeah, and you know, to tie right into that is that he doesn't show up in your normal everyday life. That those, I mean, when I say that, you are, when I'm doing the same thing over and over and over, I can't expect him to show up in that. He didn't show up before. Where do you find God the most? You find it in service. You got to step out of your normal day. Go find somebody who does not have something and go give it to them. Find somebody that has less than you and give them more.
And go with an open heart.
And okay, so that's where it's like you can expect. I can expect blessings when I do what God tells me to do. I cannot expect blessings when I'm following my will. I cannot do that, because that's not how the I don't want to say that's not how the world works. That's not how the world was created to work. It was created a different way. You can be told, hey, this works this way. Why? Because you said it. All the people that actually follow God's will sees how the world works a lot easier and a lot more than when they didn't follow God's will in their life. So that's what, but it's the strangest thing. It can be, we can see the same thing through the same glass, but see totally two different things. Unless you have to walk through the door, and that's why faith is so important, and fear keeps us from growing in faith. And it's all the little voices in our head. That's why, unfortunately, pain is the ultimate motivator. When you get smacked in the face, and the only thing you hear is pain and not all the little voices, you have no choice. Then you just stepped in through the other door. But it takes jail. It takes a DUI.
Yeah.
It takes your wife leaving you. It takes something extremely bad, and that's just not necessary.
No, it's not. That's not listening to any other calls,
Yes.
but not picking up not one phone call that the Lord's sending you.
You were saying that earlier. It's like, you
got to go. Like the intuition, the Holy Spirit telling you have to go into it.
So we're definitely going to need a part two.
Well, definitely in part two. Yeah. But yeah, guys, you should get to the point in your walk, and I pray this over your life, that what you feel you need to do, you stop and you do it at that moment. You don't waste or procrastinate, not a second. And we're in 2026, guys. It's not going to get any easier if you continue down any type of path like that. That's why, like this year, I told the team, and this is stuff that Eddie has told me in the past. Yo, hey, watch out how you say things, because you're going to freak these people out. Because, staff is not where I am mentally, spiritually, right? I'm the one that everyone looks at me.
Yeah.
What decision you're going to make today? I'm not making anything. I'm following what God wants me to do, bro. Like, hold on, let's wait for his call, right? I have to see how I deliver what I have in my mind in a way that won't freak them out. Because, like I told them this year, I said, guys, this is the year. We're going to go through all the bad things. We're going to come out so sharp in 2027, okay, as a team, okay, as a business, as a company, as of everything. Even our clients are going to change. 50, 60% of our clients are going to be gone. We're not going to be servicing the same people. And it's okay, because it's okay.
It's for the best.
It's for the best. And the people that we service, those people, if we look back 5 years, did we service them when we elevated from that space? No, we didn't. They weren't here.
Now we do.
And then now we do, but now they might be gone. Okay. Now we might not have them. So now we get new clients, and it's okay. It's okay. At the end of the day, we're here to provide a service. We're here to provide, be a part of something that is more than just us, and position ourselves where God can work through us to serve others. And that's what purpose comes through. And I feel like being in a position that you can intertwine what you do all day with what, and that's what God wants you to do, be a part of that. Like there's no more ultimate, like that is the ultimate. That is the ultimate. And owning your time.
Absolutely.
Owning your time. Like if you wanted to be on this podcast, like what's the priority? I've said this before on a podcast and I don't mean it arrogantly, but I wake up in the morning and I look at a priority list.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to execute. What's my priority? My priority might be my wife. My wife, she might need me.
That day.
And that day. And look, I've had opportunity that we interviewed. We interviewed a doctor from Spain that the podcast ended up being on another level, right? The person that was in contact with us wanted to do it on a specific day. I said, no problem, let's do it. We scheduled it, done. They filled out the same form you filled out. My wife calls me and tells me, baby, our daughter, you know how her tooth is hurting? Yeah. I called the dentist, and they had a 3-month waiting list, but they said they'll get her in for tomorrow. I said, at what time, baby? No, at 11 in the morning. That's when we had the podcast. And this is a guy flying from Spain to come here and talk with us.
Now that's a decision.
That's a decision. So the old Willie, it goes back to, I provide, you go do it. I didn't ask my wife what you had going on that day. She needed me to do this. That means that she figured out that, hey, I can't do this. I need my husband to step in. So I said, okay, baby, no problem. Because there's no way I would be able to face my daughter and say, baby, I know your tooth hurts, but I can't take you right now. What is that? Right? So I will always put a priority, my priorities. That's what it is. That's why I reached out to finish that story. And I told her, hey, look, I have a family emergency that popped up. I'm so sorry, but I know God works in mysterious ways. And I know that if it's meant to be, it'll be better than it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We did it 2 months later. And it ended up being amazing. Right? And it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like understanding that. But you got to go through freaking hell. And you got to get pounded like a nail into the board to realize that life is so much more than what we think it is.
And another thing real quick, ready, is I've learned this recently. Nothing is the end of the world.
But
except the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I said that to myself. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, the end of the world, act like the end of the world, but nothing's the end of the world unless it's the end of the world. Exactly. So quit acting like it's the end of the world. Right. It's not, because it's going
to be okay.
Like
that's what I tell myself. It's going to be okay with it. It's going to be okay.
Part of it's age, though, man. I'm telling you, you're young. It's good that you get it, because everything's perspective. You got to have enough tomorrows in you to realize, man, I was so stressed out yesterday, and look how God worked it out today. Yeah. It's like you got to do that enough times to be like, oh, wait, I'm already in tomorrow right now. I know how tomorrow's going to work out. You know what? I'm just going to let this be, because it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Why? I got proof. Yeah. Why? It's in me. It's called perspective. Mm-hmm.
And worrying about something you can't control. And obviously the ultimate decision was to be able to be there for my daughter. But I realized that today. Sometimes God needs me to go with my kids to the zoo. And someone else might be like, dude, you're insane. Or big things that I'm out. I said, my mom passed away. So I've been cleaning up her house. That's something that I need to do, but I have a lot of things going on. It's spring, but I'm supposed to be here, but I'm supposed to be there, but I'm supposed to go after money, and I got to go with this guy that he has to pay me, and I got to go here, and I got to... No, I don't. I don't do none of that. I need to go do this. Okay?
This is what's going on.
Because God wants to show me things. Okay? At specific moments while I'm by myself. Okay?
I do understand that.
I gave one of the things is personal, but I love the fact that I have people around me that are less fortunate. It's an honor to be around people like that, because they keep you. It's a blessing.
Yeah, they keep you humble.
I call them. They come. I get to give all my mom's stuff away. Mm-hmm. Right. That's not needed. Right. A lot of people don't have that. I realize a lot of things like that. A lot of people don't have somebody to call. They got to call Salvation Army, and then you go to Salvation Army and they charge you $40 for a pair of jeans. Right. One of these girls come in, and she goes, "You're here by yourself?" I'm going through my mom that passed away, all her stuff. And I said, yeah. I said, no, I'm not by myself. And she looks around. I said, I've been with God all day. I've been praying. the whole day. Because how do you get through that, right? And during those times, I see things and I find things that are childhood traumas that just blow me up in tears. Super emotional. Where I get to have that moment of getting it off of me. A closure. And it's like, wow, Lord, this is why you wanted me.
Thank you.
To be here and not at work. And this is why it's so important that we listen to what God wants us to do, even if we think we shouldn't be doing that. We don't control our days, right? Like, we don't set that.
But it took a long time of
It took
accepting.
a long time.
To accept.
Look, my calendar, I can bring on my calendar of everything I'm supposed to do today. We're doing a 2-hour podcast. Screw my calendar. This is what needs to happen, right? So these are the things that we realize, and I realize as, I guess, as an adult, as maturity in Christ, as journey, that, like, man, like, you can miss something because you picked the wrong thing to do, or you made the wrong choice. It goes back to something we didn't talk about, but importance of spouses. Next month, I'm 20 years with my wife.
That's awesome.
Right? We're going to be married 12 years. I've been together with her for 20 years next month. That's huge, right? You know how hard that is?
I'm
right?
21. I understand.
Especially, running a business and growing and changing. That's another thing. Oh, you changed, of course. I hope I change again in the morning.
Yeah.
I hope I'm renewed in the morning.
Renewed every morning.
Every morning I want to change for the better. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes I got to catch myself, right? There's a lot of areas that we need growth in, that we still need to grow in. It's not just money. Oh, my bank account's at the top. No, bro, your bank account should be kind of like at the bottom, and you should evolve in every other category of your life.
I think that's, honestly, that's, it's upside down. The way that, like, if you read Sermon on the Mount, it's upside down of what the world tells you to do.
The world is different.
Completely opposite.
Yeah.
The weird thing is that the more you operate the way the world wants you, the more times you'll fail. The more you operate the way Christ tells you, the more times you succeed. But it makes no sense. Why should I let my enemy smack me on the other cheek? Why, if you steal my jacket, why should I give you my shirt? Like, that doesn't make sense. I know. But you want this, right? You want happiness and peace, right? Okay. Well, this is how you get it. Well, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, because happiness and peace is extremely hard to get. That's why you have to go the weird side of the mountain. It's a strange way to get there. But we're told to do it this way. And it's not even we're told by TV and the world and everything like that. We're sinners. We're told to do it a selfish way on the inside. That's why it's so important that that we did this today. It's so important that the word is revealed and that men get the opportunity to step into something that's intuitively, it doesn't make sense at all.
It's perspective.
It's all perspective. It takes a little bit more time to see that, oh man, that's how that works. Now I understand why. Yeah, like, I couldn't see it before. I know, and that's okay. Yeah. Now teach somebody else. Like, come here, go see that kid that's like walking around. Like, show him where the parking lot is. Get him over here. Like, and that's where we're afraid to show them where the parking lot is, where the business, because we want to keep our money. Like, okay, well, the higher you get in life, that's what happens, is that it's the weirdest thing. People don't understand. And I understand that they don't understand, because I didn't understand. I thought people with money were lying to people like me, being like, money isn't everything. Don't worry about it. Right. I thought they were doing that to me so that I didn't feel bad about myself.
That's a way.
You know what
I
mean?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this guy, at least he's a nice rich dude, because he's trying to make me feel good about being broke, and that I'm never going to have any cash. So at least he's going to help me feel better about myself in the rest of my life.
Right.
Holy cow, guys, he was telling the truth. Because then you get there and you realize, yes,
You made it.
oh my God, I have everything I need. I'm zero in debt. I got everything I can buy, whatever.
Yeah. Now what's next?
Oh my Lord. I'm so unsatisfied.
Yeah.
You're not placed. Listen, guys. God did not place you here on earth to just make money. It's far from it.
And
It
the
brings zero
lie
purpose.
is that you think that we're lying
That's the
to you.
ultimate goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
When you get there, you realize, oh my God. And you turn around, you're like, I forgot that, and that, but I got all the cash. But my daughter is hanging out with some loser.
Right.
Yeah.
My wife is my second wife.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I screwed up the first one.
I did
this. I did
yeah.
that for money.
But here I'm sitting on a mountain and I
that's
achieved my
powerful.
goal. It could have been the 2 million,
That's
3 million,
powerful.
4 million. Like, oh, I got everything I wanted,
But you lost everything else.
but I lost everything that I needed. Oh my God.
You know,
And-
that's what I've had in my heart lately. And I always say it's the journey is the best part. Because the final result, you're there already. You're always looking for what's next. Always. As humans, we're always looking for what's next. Once we make it to where we go, it's like, you're like, oh, well, I'm already here, so what's next? The journey is the most beautiful part because that's where everything comes into place. Our journey has been wonderful. I mean, I've been with Willie doing this stuff, our podcast for 5 years. And what we've been through is, we always look for like, oh my God, we're going to get here and the sponsor. No, it's not even that. It's how much we've evolved and how much we've grown together, how much the business has grown in different ways and actually like appreciating everything that we've been through because it's so beautiful. Because once you get to the end, you always look for what's next.
No.
And I'll tie right into that is something that, and there's something I don't want to, and we'll probably wrap up. We'll probably do another one. But before we wrap up, I want to say this is that, for the guy that's out there trying real hard and trying to be that guy that he saw in the pictures or in the movies, and it's about money, and I get it. I'm that same guy. And I worked hard and I saved my money and I got to where I got. But there's a reason why I drive a 14-year-old truck. There's a reason why there's a hole in my jeans right now. There's a reason why I wear the same uniform as my guys. My piece of advice to you is to enjoy hamburgers. Enjoy the way things taste. Because it is sad when you are bored with filet mignon. Because there's no other meat that tastes better. And when you get enough filet mignons in you, and you're looking around at the menu and there's nothing left to buy. And that's when I realized money didn't buy happiness. That's when I realized it. That's when I realized when I could get anything I wanted on that menu and I got tired of eating the best stuff. That's when I was like, you know what? I got to slow down. I think I'm going to get a burger next time.
It's appreciating the journey.
Is you don't think that when you get here that there's more. There isn't.
Yeah.
There's nothing more. It's the smile on your wife's face, man. It's when you showed up and she didn't expect you to be there. When you stopped the job and you came back, you're dirty as shit, and you came back with lunch and you sat down like, hi, babe. How you doing? What are you doing here? I'm having lunch with my wife. Don't you have this to do and this to do and this to do? Yes, I do. But there's nothing more important than me stopping that whole world and sitting down and looking at the gift that God gave me. I made a vow in front of him to enjoy you and protect you. And yes, it's just lunch, but I'm protecting our marriage. I know I do that whenever I can. Because this life will take you, man. And I say this, and I'm going to walk outside, guys. I'm going to get in my dually, and I'm going to think about money. And it sucks. Because it's my job. Because I got other people that need the money. They work for me. But there's going to be a day where I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't want it. Because I know that for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Just remember that. There's a reason why that was written down in Aramaic. And there's a reason why it's true today. It's A lot of bad things are around it. My goal is to manage it well and keep it away from me. Make sure that I have everything I need and everything I want. Make sure other people around me are okay. But I will not let that sin get on me anymore, man. I won't do it.
Yeah, amen. That's a powerful message there, guys.
And don't forget that today is the youngest we're going to ever be for the rest of our
baby.
life.
Yeah, go out. No, seriously. Like
This is the youngest we're ever going to be.
work hard. Save your money. But, like, schedule. I'm going fishing.
Yeah.
I'm going fishing. I'm going to go wax my car. I'm going to go hang out with my kid. I'm going to fold his underwear. I'm going to do my laundry with my kid.
Appreciate the right now.
Yeah, like go do things
That you normally wouldn't.
that you normally wouldn't, and do them. And that is when you're going to hear God in your life.
Right.
He ain't going to hear you when you're digging holes, man.
No, yeah, you
Tarping your trailer.
You got to be in the quiet times. You got to look for that peace. Oh, man. There's so much. There's so much.
We hit on.
Part 2 for sure.
I
We're
appreciate
gonna need
you
so
coming.
many more things too.
If I had to say something for the end of this episode, is I never thought we'd be doing something like this. These are the reasons why God, I feel, has called us to do this. Like Eddie said, we thought we were gonna be having all these sponsorships and getting all this money because that's what podcasts generate. But I feel that God gave us an opportunity to tithe. Okay, and not just tithe monetarily, because it does cost money to do all of this stuff, but to tithe with our mouths, to refine ourselves and to show up as a form of a leader for an industry that is unguided and old school. And if I had to leave you guys with anything, is that I pray that God touches you and that you face the fear that's on the other side, and you do it fast. You can be limitless. You can do it, but you got to walk in purpose. It's not what you want. It's what God needs you to do. I tell my kids this in the morning. I tell them, the winners, they don't do what they want to do. They do what they have to do. And this is how I try to get them up in the morning to go to school. And my wife's like, honey, they're 7. I'm like, it's okay.
Get up.
But at the end of the day, guys, tackle the things that you need to do. There's a lot of, just we're being transparent. There's a lot of things to be fearful of. A lot of things that I've had just choices and things that I've had to say yes to go after or to implement just in a business that does have a lot of people on the other side that need to get paid, that are change. Change is a big word this year. You have to do it. And by doing so, it's going to be okay. Like, one thing we did was raise prices, which we have to. I feel like one of the big things in our industry is the pay rate for the nurseries. You guys pay more. Landscapers pay 18, 20, 22, 24, 30. The nurseries is you don't get paid that. If you're up north by where you're at, you'll see those numbers. But down here, remember, we're in Chinatown for plants.
It's a big industry, and the more people that you have,
more people, there's less, and then people always try to be the cheapest. I want to see how I can provide the most. So if I'm trying to provide the most, I can't be the cheapest, right?
Service-wise.
Yeah, service-wise.
And I say take pride in that.
Yeah,
I know. I
take pride in it. I take pride in it.
I
you know how hard it is to how hard it is to achieve, like, just that. I tell my team, and I pump into them all the time, like, guys, that your name is the dream team, and I didn't give you that name just because. No, I gave you that name because I feel that we can go up against anybody in Miami-Dade County sourcing materials and show up with the least amount of errors, on time with every truck, all these things.
Yeah.
That is what the other side wants, right?
Yeah.
We're saving people time. We got to show up the correct way. I feel like we can do that. We've grown to become that. Right? Like, we're a nursery, but I feel like we're no more for our services than just the inventory.
So we're more than just plants.
We're more than just plants, but I tell them this to empower them. And the fact that God allows us to look way past what the world expects from us, because I've had many people tell me, bro, you're wasting your time on the podcast. You're not making money doing that. You're making money. You're making more money selling plants, And it's like the little gnat in your ear. And I'm like, dude, you have no clue how many mountains God is moving in my life and all the lives that people get to, hear through their speakers.
Yeah.
And the voices you give the industry.
And it's so much more than like money's nothing.
Yeah, like
it's nothing, bro. Throw it away. I'll do this for free. It's okay. I told people I'll give them guidance for free. Call and I'll give you an hour.
Yeah.
And we've done that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had people come, man. I pray with them, man, and like over the phone, on a phone call with the phone sitting right here on my Bible right here, and it's literally powerful. I'm doing this for free.
So relationships more important. Than
free
the dollar.
money wise.
It's one thing I'll tell you real quick, and this is a secret, you guys. If you want to be wealthy, okay, you want to be wealthy with money, straight up, it's not a pitch. It's this: how can Willie and I sit down here, and some people might say, "Hey, preach," or offer our knowledge, our ability, our time to teach for free. Mm-hmm. It's this. This is why we've been for myself. I'll speak for myself. I've been serving the whole time. The whole time. So in service, and I worked the whole time. He made my business successful. That's how it actually works. You can't just work the whole time. You actually have to serve in the world too. A lot of my work that I got was through people that knew my character. They knew who I was. They're like, bro, you got to go talk to Shane because he doesn't lie. Like, what do you mean? Like, Shane can't lie. What do you mean? Like, Shane's not allowed to lie. Like, he'll turn a different color. Like, it doesn't work. That's where the success, that I'm telling you, there'll be days where you lose something, but you gained more than you realized because it opened up a door. That's why we're able to look at the world right now and say, listen, I'll give you my time for free. Well, of course, yeah, we have money. Of course, we have some security, but we built it through service. A lot of people that just take, they're always still take, and they won't give any free advice. I'll give you plenty of free advice. I'll sit down and talk with you. I can't wait to tell somebody that, like I said, I'm going to be that Asian woman that was sitting at the table in that hallway. Is that there's nobody around to say, listen, come here. I've been waiting for you. I'll teach you what to do. Right. Like, drop your burdens. Yoke it on me, kid. That's what Jesus Christ did for me. My burden is light. Yoke up with me. I'm yoked to the King. Mm-hmm. That's why my life is easier today. Now, I have a lot of challenges. I just deal with them differently, But the key is to get wealthy is don't just get wealthy with money. You got to get wealthy with your spiritual health. And you have to be able to help people get there. And serving on the way up, that's how that's your insurance that you get to stay there. You don't have to live in fear like, oh my God, the other shoe's going to drop. I'm going to lose all this. No, you're not. You served the whole way there. Yeah. Nobody's taken anything from me. They can't. It was literally handed to me and earned and handed to me and earned. Yeah. It's locked down.
And everyone around you too, just to feed off that, everyone around you is around you for a reason.
Yes.
So if God gives you an employee, like you said, you were by yourself and you had an employee by yourself, God gives you an employee, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. It's to feed into him or him to feed into you and for growth. Like, look at your employee, you put trust into him. I say that I hire people and I give you 100% of my trust because I don't know any better. You've never shown me otherwise.
Right.
Now, you screw me one time, it's game over. I'm sorry, dude. Don't lose my trust. And I tell all the people that. So people that I employ that are higher positions, which now we're looking for an inventory manager position, I ask them, do you believe in Jesus? They all say yes. One thing's follow, one thing's believe. And then I say, I've been praying for you. Because I am. Every night I pray for someone to come, the right person. Because they got to mesh with the team. They got to be, a team player. There's a lot of things on. God knows he doesn't want me to train 15 people to find the one. Now, if he needs me to, I will. But I pray for that not to be.
The willingness is there. That's the key.
The willingness is there. So I tell him, I've been praying for you. And it's crazy, Shane, because the one thing that a lot of people never get is an opportunity. So I don't care if you've got out of jail. I don't care about none of that because I've had all those type of guys run through here. I care about if you're willing to come and put in the work. That's all that matters to me. And a lot of people, when they get an opportunity to have just a little bit of land, and then they turn into a light over time. And it's giving them that trust. It's understanding that, you know, people are human and all that stuff. But that's how I operate with, you know, believing in that. Guys, we're done. This is the longest podcast of the Plan One podcast in history. I think we beat Joe Rogan.
No, it's perfect.
All right. There was a lot to learn if you made it to the end. You know, that just goes to show that there was a lot to learn, and you were able to take a lot of stuff home. All right.
I think we're not
part
done.
2 because we have a lot more to go with the lot. No, I'm saying we'll set up for a part 2. So
we'll set up for a part 2.
Finish all the points.
What we'll do is we'll do like 2 or 3 points, and that's it. And then we'll come.
We can. Yeah, I mean, we can.
Because one point can be really long.
We'll do a couple of these. Maybe we'll do a couple more.
That's true. That'd be good. Yeah, I like that.
If you're looking for community, pray about it. God will bring you community. Okay. If you feel called to reach out to either of us, you very much can. All right. All exchange information is going to be at the bottom of the description. And that's it, guys. Believe in yourself and keep going. All right, we love you. We're here for the industry. Green industry strong. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but we know it's going to be awesome. And God bless you guys. God bless you, Shane. Thank you, Eddie.
God bless, Willie. Eddie, thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah. I look forward to this. And
we look forward to having you back.
Man, thank you guys. There, so thank you.
You killed it.
Strive for improvement.
Be safe.
Time for the blueprint. Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate. Planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish. Building up the team. Our network with purpose. Industry is green. Only scratch the surface. Know this calling is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness. Trying to give the code. Moving up with patience. Foundation stone. Doing what it takes. We're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.